DC Comics, DC Entertainment has new owners. Kind of.
Oh,
It's a very business situation that once again sees DC in the shuffle of businesses doing businessy things and the reins of power at DC transferring hands once again, although they'll still be under the purview of David Zaslav and his Iron Rain as he searches for more boats and private planes and everything else, and uses DC to acquire them. We're going to talk about what this new ownership could mean for DC in the future and how DC kind of is positioned as a massive chip in David Zaslav's army. And also some announcements, some big announcements about future DC Films projects, DC film and animation projects. To talk about this today, we've got a full house on deck. We've got Cale,
what's up, hot dogs?
Marco,
Hello, hello, hello.
Tyler,
Good morning, Internet. No.
and I'm Sean. Thank you for being here, whether you are live or in the future. Make sure you smash that like button.
Smash.
If you are a regular here, but you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. If you are not a regular and you're just joining us for the first time, listen for a little bit, see if you enjoy our vibe, and make sure that you smash the subscribe button a little bit later. We've got a lot to talk about today, and I am thankful to see some of the names in the chat already. What's up, Carter Mitchell? Matthew Price. It's always good to see you, Matthew. How you doing? Matthew Holleran says morning. Morning right back to you, buddy. Harris, what's up, Harris? How's it in sunny Denver? Well, is Denver
Yeah,
sunny?
Colorado.
It can
High
be.
altitude.
It can be. Yeah.
I know Harris is enjoying that high altitude. I know that.
Hey.
So yeah, thank you guys for being here. We're gonna get right into things. Let's talk some DC Comics and DC Studios. So Warner Brothers Discovery has been in a hole for a long time. From a financial standpoint, they've had lots of debt problems. They've been trying to solve those problems pretty much ever since they merged, and that's why they were basically fire sailing, getting rid of as much as they could over the last few years. The Batgirl burnings, if you'll recall, the Looney Tunes movie they didn't release. I forget what it was called.
That was Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, which was
Yeah.
purchased by, that will be being released. It was purchased by another
Catch up TV.
yeah.
Catch Up TV?
That's
Yeah.
who bought it. Yeah.
Never heard of him?
No.
Me neither.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was out of the loop.
No.
Wait, is that true, Cale?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not
Kel-
making that up.
Yeah, Kel's right.
But what's funny is that sounds like that could be a Looney Tunes joke.
Yep.
Catch Up TV. Like,
I'm happy to
Me-
because that was a big bummer for me. I really want to see that movie. So
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to see it as well, but I did. And then they weren't going to put it out. I was like, hey, man.
All reports said it was actually really good. Everyone that, it was very highly rated on the early reviews and everything. And then all of a sudden, WB just trashed it.
and Will Forte is in it, who I love.
Yeah.
They have like big cartoony sets that I saw behind the scenes that like a lot of the people that were almost doing like a post mortem for the movie because I thought it was dead were showing off.
Wow. Well, that's why all of this has been happening. And now the media giant is splitting into two different companies. Warner Brothers Discovery Global Networks and Warner Brothers Discovery Streaming and Studios. So very corporate names that do not mean much to the average person. Warner Brothers Discovery Streaming and Studios is a dreadful name.
That rolls right off the tongue.
Whoop sass.
Oh man. Not
What do you mean?
not
It whoops
good.
ass.
Okay, that's the intern trying to to get to
Make
David
it work.
Zaslav.
No, Mr. Zaslav, it's great. It whoops ass.
Yeah. Put it on a hashtag. Everyone's gonna retweet it.
One big question I have though, real quick. Where's the 90 Day Fiance universe? Which side is that on, Sean?
Oh, great question.
It's gotta be
I
on Zazlav's
gotta know
side. I
where
gotta
Desperate
know.
Housewives of Metropolis is gonna sit.
Wait, hold on.
Wait,
I like
Is that
idea.
franchise still relevant? I don't even know.
it very much
it's
is.
Real
but,
House. It's Real Housewives. That's relevant. Desperate Housewives.
Oh,
has
it's
been
Real
off the air.
Housewives. Sorry.
So the split works like this. The global networks is going to be sports, news, television, like CNN, TNT, excuse me, Discovery, Discovery Plus. And so I got to imagine that 90 Day Fiance falls under that.
I would hope so. I mean, that's my sports. I bet on whether or not it's going to last.
That's on TNT.
That's on Discovery.
Okay.
It's on TBS. No. It's on TLC. That's the word.
And then the streaming and studio side will be Warner Brothers Television, Warner Brothers, movies, DC, HBO Max, and everything that they have. So it feels kind of like they're just splitting. It's like before the merge.
I mean, so was the HBO Max. Remember it was Max. First it was HBO Max, and it was just Max, and now it's back to HBO Max. It's a constant thing of like, ew, let's do a change that we can tout to the company and the higher ups as us changing things for the better. Oh, doesn't work. Let's spin it so it looks like this was our idea the whole time.
Actually, I think that was a preemptive move in preparation for this.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But it's all going back to where we were at the beginning, which seems stupid.
So in a way it is, and in a way it's not. They're splitting off the, like, it almost, to me, to my entertainment schedule, they're splitting off the boring shit. And putting that under the global networks. We'll see how all that shakes out. Who cares? Our point of view is based around DC, and that's what we're interested in. DC is landing under the streaming and studios company side of things, and David Zaslav is going to stay in his position of power, under streaming and studios. So bully for us all, I guess. I mean, I was hoping maybe it would be somebody else, but it's not.
It's him for now. I think recently there's definitely been some loss of confidence in him. Didn't he recently just try to give himself a huge ass bonus?
Yeah.
And the board was like, no, we're not letting you do that.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some friction going on. So we'll see how long this lasts.
Hayden's Hideout with the $10 says, happy early birthday to Sean and Tyler. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for everything you do for this community. Hayden, thank you so much. Yeah, my birthday's in 2 days, and then Tyler's is on the 19th. So
Toys
this is
Day.
this is our birthday episode. So thank
They
you so much.
stream.
Whoa.
Yes.
Where are the balloons? Nobody's wearing masks.
They're behind my.
Let me see if I can.
Oh, the green screen right there.
Masks? You wear masks at a birthday? What do you mean nobody's wearing masks?
It's a superhero themed birthday, of course.
Oh, news to me.
Entertain me joining, a member of the Comics Pals channel membership for 5 months says, happy birthday, Sean and Tyler. Thank you so much. Yes. We will be celebrate. Well, I don't really feel much like celebration, but we'll be enjoying our birthday episode all day. So thank you.
That's how long we're gonna stream.
Yeah, all day. You got it. So, all right, back to the story. David Zaslav said during the investor call, we are very excited about Superman. We're almost wrapped with Supergirl. A great plan around DC, a 10-year plan. Now, we know that there has been a 10-year plan in place for DC for some time. Um, that's not a surprise in this because when James Gunn came into the picture, he talked about a 10-year plan. And we waffled on that. Some of us said, oh, great, there's a plan in place. That's good to hear. But also, how realistic is a 10-year plan if you haven't even gotten one thing, out the door? Superman is on the horizon. That'll be out next month. It's crazy to say that, considering how long ago that was announced. But yeah,
I think Pete and Phil were still here when that was announced.
it's possible. I don't remember, but it's possible. And so now we're here. But if Superman flops, which I don't think that's going to happen, but if it underperforms, how much does that even change this 10-year plan that they keep touting,
Mm.
I don't think it should. Ideally, we don't want it to, right? Like I think the fact that we've gotten to Superman now is sticking to the plan and the consistency of that. That's, I think, shows at the very least some sense of learning from previous eras, and is in my mind the good thing to do for a company is stick to that plan. If the first one flops, you need to give it time, right? You're not coming in um from that point A. That movie is a point C, D, E, F in the overall direction of the company. So I don't think you should see a
Mm.
failure as that.
I don't think so, dude. I think this is point A.
Yeah,
And Superman like is the foundation of this plan.
yeah.
And I think we said it all along, but like if this flops, again, it won't. But if it did, they would be in massive, massive trouble.
And what is a flop though nowadays? Like this needs to like be there. This needs to beat Aquaman, the original Aquaman, right?
Right.
It's got that's not gonna happen because that did 1 billion.
I know, but like the fact that Superman isn't beating Aquaman, I'm sure somebody's going to complain about that. Like, what is a flop for their eyes? Like, what may seem good in the year 2025 may be considered a flop for them. I don't know what that means for them.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm looking online now to see what the budget is, and
It
it
should.
appears that there's some controversy surrounding what it is. It seems to be around 360-ish million,
Yeah, that's
somewhere
what
in
I
that.
remember. Yeah.
Hmm. This
That
is
a
from a
lot?
yeah, it is a lot. But I mean, in today's age, a lot of movies have that type of, especially these kind of big budget things.
Okay. Okay.
Um, a studio veteran said, when looking at the performance of a film that is one segment of a franchise property, you have to look holistically at the franchise as a whole and remember that each installment augments the overall performance of the prior films and the general IP itself. Franchise films drive multiple revenue streams across the entire library, including streaming, home entertainment, and global content distribution. Um, yeah, but I think if Superman doesn't make 1 billion, there will be people behind the scenes who are stuck in pre-COVID brain who are looking at that and questioning it. Every single time a Marvel movie comes out post-COVID, you always have those fucking idiots who say, "Oh, why didn't it make 1 billion?" Because people don't go to movies anymore.
Mm.
But guys, popcorn buckets are a thing now. We're driving people back to the theaters with those.
$80 for a fucking Galactus head.
Dude,
Holy
you
shit.
better be giving me that too for $80. Jeez.
Yep.
Why did it make $1 billion? It was the Eternals. Thank you very much.
I I, I,
So
I usually like when a new movie comes out, especially like a superhero movie. I hate the discussion about money when it comes to like, is it good? It's irrelevant. And it just it really commodifies the idea of like what a movie is in art, and it really bums me out when that's what people bring up. Like I know we're bringing it up because it's the business discussion of the show, but like when it comes to like how people talk about movies, it's the fucking worst thing ever.
Big dog. That's what it is, man.
All right, go plug yourself in.
I'm charging right now as you speak. Oh, there it is.
I think the conventional wisdom is generally that a movie needs to make double its budget. But then there's also the marketing aspect that generally isn't always included in the budget. So
Mm.
I would imagine somewhere in the space of 800 million would be a pretty good haul for this.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if it gets into that realm and what the conversation will be like if it does not get into that realm. But here are some quotes from the WBD side of things. So Zaslav said, the cultural significance of this great company and the impactful stories it has brought to life for more than a century have touched countless people all over the world. It's a treasured legacy we will shut up. But by operating as two distinct and optimized companies in the future, we are empowering these iconic brands with sharper focus and strategic flexibility they need to compete most effectively in today's evolving media landscape. This separation will invigorate each company by enabling them to leverage their strengths and specific financial profiles. This will also allow each company to pursue important investment opportunities and drive shareholder value. That's coming from someone named Wiedenfields. At Global Networks, we will focus on further identifying innovative ways to work with distribution partners to create value for linear and streaming viewers globally while maximizing our network assets and driving free cash flow. So I think that the streaming and studios side of things will be fine. I think that the global network side of things is going to have a problem. This very much reminds me of the Fox split, where they split out the entertainment side from the news side. They have massive debt. They have massive debt. And I think that they are getting rid of the part that's not profitable. And Zaslav will continue to oversee the part that probably largely is doing much better.
And did he come from when he became CEO, when the merger happened? Did he come from which side did he come from? I felt like he came from like the Discovery side.
He was the CEO of Discovery.
Yeah, yes. Now he's going the other direction, away in the split. He's going more towards the entertainment side.
Where the money is.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Big surprise there.
Well, I mean, that's what he outlined in that gobbledygook right there, right? Is
I couldn't understand it.
the streaming side is the efficiency, right? It is the money driver because it doesn't have those upfront costs. I imagine the majority of that debt is coming from the global networks because they're saying here they're just looking for better ways to distribute and make some free cash flow. Because right now they're probably bleeding with those older, more antiquated networks, right? That's serving only a certain population that's getting older and diminishing, where the streaming side is growing, and you need to find ways to focus on that. But it inherently doesn't have as big budgets as TV. A TV ad is X $million versus maybe 50K for the same kind of thing on streaming. So you got to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah, and I think, what's interesting is how DC is a tentpole aspect of the streaming and studio side of things. Alongside like Harry Potter, alongside Lord of the Rings and other things that WB owns, but those are three of the bigger tentpole things that they have. And when you're talking about the other two, I mean, Harry Potter has a new show coming out. Great. That's not, I am too, but like that, I don't, in my mind, I don't see how sending something to streaming is profitable the way that movie ticket sales would be. And so in my mind, that makes DC really the premier brand because Lord of the Rings isn't pumping out movies at the current moment, and neither is Harry Potter. And the last batch of movies that Harry Potter pumped out didn't do that great and weren't that well received. So it's really all up to DC.
Yeah, the Harry Potter's a rebuilding phase for them. I don't even think they own Lord of the Rings.
I think they do, no?
It's a Tolkien license that they don't own. because Amazon's doing Rings of Power. So
But do they not produce Lord of the Rings
it's
material?
New Line produce the movies. I don't think they have the full rights to it. No, they might have certain rights to it, but not full rights. Lord of the
Well,
Rings
in the
rights
art
is weird. Yeah,
in the quote that I have directly from David Zaslav, he mentions Lord of the Rings. So
maybe he's doing that Gollum movie.
But I also think like in terms of the franchise, I think you're making more money through advertising than you are ticket sales. Like I think that's why they're leaning into the streaming is for any given time frame, a month, let's say, right? I know for sure on like, and this is just because I'm in my marketing mind, right? Like, you can have a certain budget for a month on simply on a certain channel, targeting certain channels, topics, genres, etc. Right? I think you make more money on that over time by being able to stream than you do in a single moment on uh, movie tickets or anything else for that matter. The upfront is higher via movie. It's also a shorter time frame that you can take advantage of sales than you can the long tail success of advertising.
sure.
Also, stuff like you know, products, the novelty Harry Potter wand shit that,
Sure.
you know, there are storefronts. I know all over London. I don't and Oxford. I don't know about for you guys
New
over
York
there,
has one.
but
Yeah, we have a Harry Potter store in New York.
Oh shit.
like just absolutely floor to ceiling covered in, transphobic bullshit. That's gonna get them, billions of dollars in revenue from any old tourist.
So there is a reliance on DC to succeed, and I think that's what scares me. That's what scares me. It when Marvel first launched their studio, they had to get it right. Iron Man had to be good. If Iron Man was bad, we're not even talking about Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't think. But
Yeah.
it was done in-house. Like it was made by the people who do this, who really care. And yeah, there was a lot of pressure, but I feel like it was a good pressure because that was a homegrown studio, whereas this is a massive corporation that only looks at DC as a way to financially benefit. Enter James Gunn, who is that Kevin Feige type in the sense that he really cares. Kevin Feige's not a
Yeah.
creative. James Gunn is a creator, but he really does care. I believe in that. But I can only imagine the pressure he's getting to make sure that this shit lands.
It's where the risk comes from.
Mhm.
At the advent of the MCU, the risk was, oh, we don't have anything. We're trying to build something. So there was only gain, really. Surely you might have lost in the immediate with if Iron Man did poorly. But this is like, no, we're hitching our horse to this. That's a phrase, right? Whereas we have something already. This is all the things they have with Warner. If they're hitching it to DC, then DC needs to perform, or else everything goes down. It becomes they're trying to replace the foundation instead of building the foundation.
I think it needs to perform as well, but it's serving a function of also bringing in enough people into the fold that you can get them back on a streaming service. Like the you have the movie, right? That's your big net. You're capturing whatever number of people, and then you're producing TV shows, and then that's the thing where it's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna milk these people. We're gonna extract as much value as we can
They're doing what?
from
I might
uh,
re-sign up.
where from those people that have come through that pipeline.
The thing though is like, aren't we in the streaming is dead era?
Nah, bro.
You
We're
know,
in like there's so many streaming services era, but if you care, I think it's still uh pay forward democratized content in that if I want to isolate my bubble in XYZ topic or XYZ thing, I can focus my attention and in that case my budget on that.
Yeah, I think out of all the streaming services, HBO Max is probably the most safest. Like they just put out The Pit, right? That's them. And people love that shit.
Canceled my sub to that, dude.
You did.
I did. I
Well,
regret it
streaming's
so
dead, guys.
much.
Told you.
So much. I don't. The only thing I have is Netflix right now.
Oh, that's the worst one in my opinion.
And you know what? You might be right.
I I get Paramount for free, and let me tell you, I don't even want it for free. That's the worst one.
Paramount's just a drag race machine for me.
You got South Park.
Oh, great.
Love South Park.
Marco, I'm an adult now. I don't need to watch it anymore.
Come on.
How many years
Cowley?
has it been since I've seen South Park?
Yeah, Jay Sage in the chat. I'm talking about Fantastic Beasts, just to clarify. I'm not talking about the core Harry Potter movies. Obviously, those were massive successes, but the Fantastic Beasts franchise was not. And I think that's a big reason why they are retooling right now. But to get the conversation back on track, we have Superman. They're David Zaslav specifically mentioned Supergirl, which I have to like it. It's so weird to see this guy who doesn't know a fucking thing about a thing talking about Supergirl. Like, wow. And I'm glad for that. Like, I'm glad Supergirl has a platform, but it's just weird for him to be talking about Supergirl.
They're almost setting up like there's no longer a Trinity for DC Studios. It's like a what's the 4 version? A quartet? Or is that 5?
Square.
It's a DC Square? Okay, yeah.
The DC Square, yeah.
But like they're setting up Supergirl as like the same level as Superman in the way they're discussing things.
Maybe a long-term strategy. I don't know. It's tied to Superman.
I want to announce Super. Oh, there's a girl. Did you guys know there's a girl one?
Oh man. So we know that there's a 10-year plan. My question is, how does the business side of things, where again DC is more important than ever to any portfolio it's ever been in, DC is more important than ever. My question is, how does the business side now clash with the creative side? Superman is likely to be a success. Hayden just shared, and thank you for doing that on our Discord server, that the marketing budget, according to the Hollywood Reporter, for Superman is about $500 to $600 million. So if that's the case, and you've got a production budget that's sitting somewhere in the space of 360, that's almost $1 billion before you've made a cent off the movie. So that means that even making $1 billion is a meager profit. And in this era, we have had precious few movies that have made that kind of money. So I'm worried already.
Damn. How much was that budget, Sean? One more time.
The marketing budget, according to the Hollywood Reporter, is between 500 and 600 million, and then we know that the production budget is in the $360 million range.
Damn,
So
I
we're
had
looking
to put on my bandana for the. So hold on. Diablo.
Cool. I thought that you did that to prevent you from overheating with the processors up there trying to calculate the math.
Oh yeah, it's wet. Yeah.
So that is potentially at minimum 900 mil, roughly. That already
To
went
break
into this
even.
movie. To break even, yeah. Which they can't break even. They need profits. They need to be able to justify more yachts. Uh-oh. It's weird. Like I feel like expectations versus reality are so wild when it comes to these businesses that they are for profit. That's all all that really matters to them.
I misread. Let me correct myself, because okay. I didn't have this article in front of me before we started the show. So let me correct myself. The combined budget would be 500 to 600 million.
So that's with marketing.
Yeah, that's with marketing.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll be fine then.
Yeah, we're fine then. Yeah.
So
I take it back.
So in that case, yeah, you're still looking at somewhere in the range of, you want to be in the 700-800 million dollar range. But that's a lot more doable and achievable than a billion, and even that not looking great. So with that being said, this movie's probably fine. Um, but okay, fine. Superman's fine. Now you're on to Supergirl. Does that still make that kind of money?
Superman needs to be such a hit that it gives Supergirl the rub.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Don't like that.
They're cousins. Wait, oh no.
Don't like
Sorry,
that.
wrestling term.
Like you're right,
Yeah, I know.
but you
But
could have phrased it better.
I am
They are
wrong.
from
I am
Kansas.
wrong. Oh no, Marco is ruined our
Come
whole
on.
Midwest. That's a Southern thing, first of all. Like it's Superman needs to become such a household name from this movie, and people we need to have kids raising the Superman flag in real life. For
Yeah.
that to then transfer to Supergirl, because Supergirl is untested outside of like she did have a movie, but I don't think it did too well during like the Christopher Reeve era.
But I do think Supergirl is still a known quantity.
And it's understandable, like Supergirl. It's kind
Yeah.
of baked in, so it is a little bit safe in terms of newer quote unquote newer properties they can be introducing.
Like I think you could very easily have Supergirl be another sort of Wonder Woman hit the way the way that was when that came out, whatever year that was, 2016
Yeah.
or whatever.
And that would be phenomenal. And I would love for that to be the case. Now you move past those two, and let's assume that they both succeed. Let's assume they both do really well. Now we're talking about Clayface. Now we're talking about Deathstroke and Bane, that weird team up movie that they
Oh yeah.
talked about. Now we're talking about Sergeant Rock.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Hold on a second.
Glad we got
Sergeant
two
Rock.
super people movies out of it.
Well,
Right.
I'd argue you don't that doesn't need a big budget at all. The small budget, I mean, the small budget horror movie is it's studio's favorite thing, and that's what Clayface could be.
And horror films like
They
are
make
notoriously
profit.
small budgets for banger bucks.
Sure, you could have sold that one, Cal. Be confident with it next time.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
I said that with my whole ass.
But I agree with you. A Bane Deathstroke movie, it could just be like a John Wick diet, like a diet John Wick. Like these things don't need Superman's budget. These things are super small. Sergeant Rock can be a super small budget as well. I think there could be a niche for the smaller budget things to fill out the gaps of this main world that aren't as risky as we think.
And sort of the opposite of what Marvel has done, making absolutely everything sort of a tent pole. These can be smaller ones that make it feel more lived in, while the next one gets set, say Batman and Robin or whatever the next one,
Yeah. And
is.
if we're thinking as a studio, if one of these small things that was not very expensive hits, then you made your money back. And if it hits, then you can make another one. We can have a Clayface 2 potentially. Like it is showing though that DC is their bread and butter going forward. The fact that like this is where their creative energy is going towards these like Clayfaces to Sergeant Rocks. It's filling out the gaps where like I don't know, that release date that Clayface is going to be on could have just been another James Wan horror movie or something, but instead they're tethering it to DC to kind of maybe grab people to be into this ecosystem.
I would feel more confident in that if in that 10-year plan this was maybe the first 3 years, but then year 4 or 5, like we don't have. Do we have any deals? I'm forgetting if for anything larger, like a name character the size of a Wonder Woman, a Batman, and if not, that for me is worrying because I'm thinking of it in a similar way of like All In, where you have your Justice League, right? And your Justice League Unlimited, you have your core Batman, but you have these ancillary, The Question, you have, Adam Project, and you're going to see a drop off of attendance, presumably, even if something like Justice League Unlimited pops off. And I'm comparing that to Superman here and a Sergeant Rock and the rest.
So we have Batman and Wonder Woman announcements, in fact. Batman is getting a movie, but it's gonna be Batman and Robin. Or I think they're calling it what are they calling it?
Yeah, Brave and the Bold, or
I believe it's Brave and the Bold, might
yeah.
be. And so that's gonna happen. And then a Wonder Woman movie is being written right now, which is an announcement that we're gonna talk about in a moment. And I'm overjoyed with the announcement of a Wonder Woman film coming, because I was so worried that they would let, the Gal Gadot and the Patty Jenkins era kind of sit and like wait a while to do something new after that. And my opinion is get right back on the horse, not with them, but with a new creative team. And because Wonder Woman has to stay in the picture. She has to stay. You don't take a character that just did a Billy. The first Wonder Woman did a Billy. You don't take that and leave that on the sidelines. No, that's not what you do. So I'm glad that they're doing this. And then the Brave and the Bold, I get why they're doing it that way, especially because you still have the Matt Reeves Batman stuff, which is in kind of a limbo space right now, but it is allegedly still happening and still important. They probably don't want to do two like core, this is just Batman movies and franchises at the same time. So I get it. But I'm wondering where's the big budget Green Lantern film? Let's get the Flash back in rotation. Aquaman did $1 billion. Like, let's bring this out.
Disagree. Yeah.
I mean, at least nobody mentioned the Flash, right? We can agree that needs to be put on ice for a bit.
John literally just said the Flash.
Oh, you did say the Flash. I blocked that in my head. I
That
heard
was
Green
literally.
Lantern. I heard Green Lantern. I heard everything else. Yeah, I'm okay with them not doing that, because then that means they can do it later, and then they have another big tentpole that they can, like they're breadcrumbing it out further. If you blow your load immediately, then there's less, I guess. I prefer them having smaller things and lesser known things to kind of fill in the gaps.
Well, not knowing that we have those other those other projects coming down the line, that makes me feel more confident in the smaller ones. Because I would worry of seeing. Oh, I'd worry of seeing. I was wondering if he was frozen.
I'm the host now. Look at me. I'm the host now.
Not Cale. And worrying that those movies would not be the one, revenue drivers, but also two, name enough to be of value for people to come back. If you do too many small movies, it's like, oh, I'll wait for the next big one, and maybe you're kind of just looking forward to the next one.
I think you sort of, with those movies that we listed, right? A Clayface horror movie, right? You've got your Sergeant Rock war movie,
which is in developmental hell. So we'll see if that even comes out at this point.
Sure. Yeah. And I think, you can say that for all of these, certainly. But you've got the fact that those are individual, specific, not quite so popular genres. It takes the pressure off budget wise, so that people can, they'll get the audience that they want. And then when the tent poles come in, that's where they, the blockbusters come in.
Yeah, and they could even, like, a Sergeant Rock movie can just be a Sergeant Rock movie. It can have the DC Studios banner to open it, but they might not even need to market it as a DC movie. You know what I mean? Like, it could just be a war movie that's coming out. Like, it's an idea farm, if anything.
Think about Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And like
That's a war movie with Godzilla in it.
that's a great movie, which
God,
is
it's
coming out with a
probably the
sequel.
best Godzilla movie.
But like I think that's fine too. And like think about like the creatives they have behind these movies too. Like Luca Guadagnino doing Sergeant Rock. We'll see. But that's taking somebody who is a well-known like director in terms of like these smaller movies. Like Challengers was last year, which I loved. And you know, taking that kind of creative vision and seeing what they can do in the sandbox. But all it is just ideas and IP.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we own this idea of this a war hero that had a crew. Have fun with that. It could be its own thing.
Yeah.
Mike Flanagan's Clayface movie is gonna feel like a Mike Flanagan movie first and foremost.
Yep.
It's
The trick. Someone mentioned it in the chat earlier. You know, this is DC, not Blumhouse, and I think if DC is smart, especially with these smaller ones, if they do it like Blumhouse, they'll nail it.
See Sergeant Rock fight some dinosaurs, dude. Or like go to the Themyscira. They get like somehow not necessarily time displaced, but they're the ones that discover Hippolyta.
Hippolyta.
I said what I said.
No, I want Sergeant Rock to have a love triangle. That's what I want.
Ooh.
If Luke is doing it, that's what it's got to be. It's got to be a little gay too.
Oh, sure.
Well, it's gonna be the military, so.
So I think DC, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next few years because like we say, Superman, Supergirl, I think those are pretty solid hits. Supergirl could be confronted by the idiots on the internet and the anti-women crowd. That could happen. I think it happened to the Marvels. I think the Marvels would have done a lot better if it wasn't for a lot of the bad faith negativity that the film received because it wasn't an amazing movie, but it was definitely not. To me, it wasn't a bad movie, and it wasn't as bad as people tried to make it out to be. And I think a lot of that was motivated by assholes, quite frankly. So yeah, it'll be really interesting, and I'm worried, but I'm hopeful, and I'm hopeful because of James Gunn. That's really he's really the key to all of this, and he's going to assemble the right creatives. He's going to assemble the right writers to make this thing work. That's my hope.
Yeah, as David Zaslav tried sniping you, Sean, we were talking about like the the creative sense of this because they have actual creatives that are known quantities on these movies and have distinct styles. Like, have you guys seen Mike Flanagan TV shows at all? Midnight Mass.
I'm never current on anything.
It's true, but they have a distinct feel and a distinct. Like, we know his wife is going to be in that Clayface movie. Like, he has like almost a recurring cast of people that are in all of his TV shows. So like there are set ideas of what you can expect these films to be like based on the people in them. Although like a James Mangold Swamp Thing is still an unknown quantity for what that's going to be like to me.
Nah, it's gonna be fire.
Did you see the newest Indiana Jones?
Nah, it's gonna be fire.
Did you know Indiana Jones time travels to ancient Greece?
Oh, you know it's there's a new Indiana Jones. I didn't even know there was a new Indiana Jones.
Man, I like how shitting on Swamp Thing turns Marco into a total bro.
You're wrong, okay? Top 1 DC film.
What?
Top one. The Swamp Thing movie that doesn't exist yet.
Exactly.
Okay.
You wait.
All right, screw Swamp Thing. But the other thing is, like, this is almost the reverse of what Marvel's doing, in a way, in terms of behind the scenes. Like, Marvel's directors aren't really known quantities most of the time. Like, they are known for, I think it's like, some people did, like, music videos and stuff like that. But, like, they're not well-known directors that then go into Marvel movies. It's almost the other way around. I think Shane Black is probably the only big one in Favreau to start it off with. But like a lot of the current iteration of Marvel, it's like, okay, these guys maybe did a horror movie here or there. Whereas DC is trying to court, well, James Gunn specifically is trying to court auteur creators for these movies. So that is what interests me.
Let's talk about some of those future projects. Let's talk about Wonder Woman. So James Gunn recently said, and I think, maybe there was some synergy with this announcement of the splitting of Warner Brothers Discovery. James Gunn sat down with Entertainment Weekly and said, quote, "We're working on Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's being written right now." And we also knew about the Paradise Lost series that's coming.
Right.
But this is separate from that. And I think the Paradise Lost thing is supposed to be kind of like a prequel to everything that's going on. So that's interesting. And I'm glad that we are getting Wonder Woman, and I'm glad that he's talking about Wonder Woman early. When asked about the idea of there being four pillars, such as what Tyler alluded to earlier, with Supergirl being a part of that, no longer a trinity, Gunn said, I think that's accurate, actually. I think that he got that from something I said. I wouldn't say only those four characters, but I would say that those four characters are incredibly important to us. Right now, I feel great about where those two characters are, and then we're dealing with the other two. So I guess maybe he means Batman, Superman, and then Supergirl, Wonder Woman. But what's interesting about that to me is Supergirl's inclusion, but also that 10 years ago, Harley would have been that fourth pillar character.
But like pillar for the memes, for the like it capitalizing on the fervor around it, not a tenant of the legacy and history of DC. She was good in the moment because she was popular and Margot Robbie, but outside of that, she doesn't have history with the rest. You can't integrate her further back than the 90s in comics and in the movie franchises.
Sure, because that's when she was created, but I would say that since Harley Quinn was created, she's been a big deal.
In terms, like, she was in 3 movies.
And they all did great.
Yeah. And one of them was in the height of a pandemic, which did good enough that the person who made that movie is now head of where DC's going forward. I think Harley's a strange one because Margot Robbie is so Harley in that, where I think a recasting would be detrimental, and I think she's kind of doesn't want to do it right now. I think that's one of those people where you can bring Margot back down the line as Harley and do some weird explaining as to why that happens and exists, but so does Peacemaker. But yeah, I think that's just one that's like, all right, we gotta wait for Margot to be ready again, because having somebody else be Harley, it's really tied to Margot at this point.
She's the only actor of the previous era that I want to come back, like from the movies.
Yeah. Amanda Waller, that's fine.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's
Yeah.
why I
Yeah,
said the
yeah.
movies,
From the
because
movies, yeah.
I'm thinking that she is coming back in Peacemaker.
Sure,
we
sure,
already
sure,
know
sure,
that. So
Oh, okay.
And the Waller show that I think I got canceled actually.
yeah, I don't think that's happening. Yeah, I think Supergirl being a part of this is great. I think Harley not being a part of it definitely makes a lot of sense. To me, the Batman of this is tricky. That's the weird part. Because they're saying Batman, and yes, for sure, but you don't have, like, you've got the Batman and Robin movie coming, but in a way that almost feels de-emphasized.
What the Batman sequel doesn't even have a script yet. Like James Gunn
Right.
keeps saying, "Oh yeah, I'm real excited to read the script. Should be here any day now." He said that 3 times, I think. So I think they realize they have something good there and they can't really get rid of it, especially with the Penguin doing so well too. Like there's a good section there, but the vision for where the world is going elsewhere. I think we're going towards Batman Brave and the Bold, literally like the cartoon show, in terms of tone for whatever Batman character we get in the main DC universe.
Not mad about that.
Me neither. I think that's something well needed. Like Batman is a malleable character, and I think we've gotten the same version of Batman since Nolan's.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I would be totally okay with it being a more heroic Batman. There was a slight twinge of it in, strangely enough, the Flash, the Ben Affleck stuff, where he has the blue suit, and he's doing like superhero stuff in the daytime. I'm like, oh, hold on, but it was only for like 30 seconds.
I think Batman's like such a known quantity. We know it's gonna bring people in that you probably want to be delicate with that timing. Like I think it's advantageous. It would always be advantageous to have it sooner, but if you know that, then you know you have to be able to also leverage it more strategically.
The risk is the Robin if they're doing Brave and the Bold. Like that's the risk.
Yeah.
They've only done that on film twice.
It's interesting because I think people love Robin. I
Yeah.
truly believe that.
He's in the Fortnite Battle Pass. That sounds like a joke, but that's the main character of the current Fortnite Battle Pass. Like he is recognizable as a character in a creation.
And so for that reason, I don't know if I think it's a risk. I think the risk is in changing the tone of Batman. If you change the tone from what people have largely associated Batman on film with, which is that darker, kind of heavier tone, I'm not saying it won't be well received because I do think there's a market for that. I just think that for the last 30 years, minus the Batman and Robin and Batman Forever films, which are the worst received Batman films, we've never seen this version. So that is a little bit awkward, but it's Batman.
And Dan makes a good point here. He says Batman doesn't have to be funny for the film to be lighter. He was a straight serious character in Batman and Brave and the Bold cartoon, surrounded by goofiness. Yeah, that's what I loved about that cartoon.
Yeah, he's a straight man.
Yeah, and then and that's actually a great way to pepper in different facets of the DC universe and have Batman be the tether for viewers, but also tonally he's the straight man.
I think too, like, not to get too wish list about it and too narrow, but like I think a format similar to like Dark Patterns would benefit Batman Brave and the Bold really well, where it's not necessarily that Batman is changed, sort of away from what everyone agrees they like. But you don't have to lean into the comedy of it either. But weird stuff happens. Scarface is a building. I think that's stuff that Batman has been sorely lacking. I mean, since Batman Forever, and your mileage may vary on whether or not that worked, but it's something that's been missing. And I would even say something that's been missing in an interesting way since like the Tim Burton films.
I think it's time for a tonal shift.
Yeah.
I'm desperate to get some of the wackier villains that you just can't get. Like, why have we never seen Clayface? Like that? Come on, man. Batman has some villains that aren't just regular humans, and they're great.
Just imagine opening of a movie with a weird score where Kite Man is stealing a precious diamond, and then you can see like Batman and the Batplane show up, like goofy shit like that. Like Crazy Quilt is a great opening, cold open character.
You went way too far.
Oh,
To introduce Robin though.
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
I think it tonally it needs to be something like Zebra Man or something,
Like okay, all right, that's it. Here we go. So you got Crazy Quilt. This is your cold open. You show a young, say, Dick Grayson. He's sort of in that original circus costume. We see him beat the crap out of Crazy Quilt, and that's when we, the audience, know, oh, this is a young, capable crime fighter. And then we transition into a couple years later. He's a little bit better equipped. He looks, maybe a little more buff, a little, like they've been doing this. And then we get into the Batman and Robin we know and want to see.
Oh, I was thinking already older, can already take out Crazy Quilt, right?
You want a Robin
Feels
that's
like
already almost Nightwing?
right. Feels almost ready to go take the next step, and that's the tension between Bruce and Dick.
Well, yeah, my thing is Crazy Quilt is 8-year-old Dick Grayson.
I see.
He does it. Like he can
8 years old,
already walk
damn.
all over. That's how old he was, dog.
Stop. Are you
You
serious?
had never read a comic book before?
I didn't realize that young, dude. I thought he was like at least like a young teen.
No, he's about as old as the Rizzler.
Damn.
I don't know how old he is.
Oh my God.
Look, I'm just not caught up. I could Google it, I guess.
Sean,
I don't.
Sean, rip the Band-Aid off, and you can break the bad news to yourself with that super chat. Or maybe he can't.
Wow.
Entertain me. Thank you for the $10. I'm just going to call it out. Speaking of Wonder Woman, bad news, Sean, but Tom King is determined to have Steve Trevor, and looks like he plans to bring him back to life in the Trinity comic. King killed off Alfred and can't return, but Steve can. I like that Wonder Woman comic, so I know Sean doesn't like it, but it apparently killed Sean.
Y'all can fucking have it.
I actually downloaded Trinity, so I will be getting to that maybe this weekend. It's a little bit of a packed weekend for me, though. Tom King got Sean, yeah. Tom King's dangling Sean out of the side of a Blackhawk.
Yeah, he fell off that Blackhawk, dude. He's fucking gone again.
All right, well, I'm Sean again right now. Ignore the names at this point, guys. But yeah, I mean, is there? Do you think at this point they've already gotten their? Do you think they have any like secret casting done for these people? Because I feel like if you have Wonder Woman, you have Batman, these pillars of your universe. I think you'd want to nail down who's going to be them, even before an announcement or a full-on plan for a movie. Like, at least Brave and the Bold is being planned.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a date for that yet, but I can see like 2028, 27.
For a casting?
For casting, yeah.
Yeah. I would bet they've already got talks.
Yeah.
I doubt contracts have been signed. NDA's out the asshole, I bet. But I would bet that they have a solid idea of who they want it to be. Yeah.
Will Byers. That's
Come
what
on.
it is.
Wait,
Robin, dude?
Oh,
no.
Robin. Okay.
Yeah.
No, screw that guy. Screw that actor. Sucks. We just got rid of Gal Gadot. We don't need another one. So
What does that mean?
Oh, I might be missing some context there.
Okay,
Yeah,
you can Google the actor.
No thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I want Jacob Elordi as Batman. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm a Jacob Elordi head.
I think that we have missed a trick for years, not getting John Hamm in here as.
Okay. Oh, that's a good question. So you want someone older?
Well, the thing is, you got to match Superman and Wonder Woman, and I think we're past that now.
Okay. So I mean, how old is Corn Sweat?
23.
God, if he's younger than me, I'm gonna fucking an hero.
Makes my 31. Okay, that's not so bad.
He is younger than me. Damn. I need to get that I need a doctor to break my leg so I can get taller.
I've always wanted to do that.
200 grand.
Break your legs?
Get some super chats to get me and Sean taller.
At this point, I need super chats to get a fucking computer, man. I'm having a rough day. You know what? Let's turn my rough day into a moment of celebration of the audience instead. 120 of you watching, thank you so much for being live with us. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a moment to say thank you to the patrons, and then when that moment passes, I'm gonna give away 5 channel memberships. So stick around past this period where we're going to celebrate those who make this show possible, who show up and support us every single week through the Patreon, and then we'll add some members to our channel membership. So here we go. As you know, the show is fully supported by our patrons, and we are very grateful for them. I am opening my oh cool, that's great. Now my Microsoft Word requires me to sign in order for me to get to my documents. Gotta love computers.
Gotta get that open office going, dog.
What's Open Office?
LibreOffice.
It's like a knockoff of Word that's open source.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Special shout out to our pals verse legends, the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross Catherine Stars, the Red Spiral, Spiral Storm, Adam and Bernie the Best Boy, the Spear of Judgment, Jay's Jumble, Jalen Jackson, the Sanguine Sorcerer, and joining us at this tier, Safe Haven, Hayden's Hideout, who recently made the jump. Thank you so much for that. And of course, Entertain Me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a shout out to our Palsverse members, the Night Stalker, Harris Dajinski, Brian Demolish, Del Pozo, Kev Piss the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Marley Manastorm, Slow Flow Dameron, Christian Uncaged, Always Laughing, The Spear of Justice, Izzy's Issues, The Great Destroyer, Hyper Viper 89, Robert Runback Cashaback, Pete the Dreamweaver Collins, James Just Jamming Jones, Paul Powerhouse Smith, Neon Knight, The Cosmic Avenger, Matthew the Shade, Cosmo, BJ Kicks, The Living Blade, Boss from Deer. If you did not hear your name, you will a little bit later. Thank you to everybody who supports us. You guys are amazing.
While we're mentioning the patrons right now, I just want to say thoughts and prayers for Atomic Hound. He just said, Mrs. Hound just realized her shoebox and my omnibus shipment got mixed up. Stand by for the announcement of my imminent death. So, hey, good luck, bud. Because I know if decided to, that omnibus could be a bludgeoning tool. They're big.
So could the shoebox, depending on what type of shoes we're talking. So
I've seen 7.
got a pair of those stilettos. I don't know if Mrs. Hound is still rocking them, but
Oh, I bet she is. Stone Cold Fox.
I believe it. I believe it. That love will keep you youthful. That beautiful old school love. That'll do it.
Hound, let us know what omnibus it is too, if you're alive.
if it was worth it.
Yeah. If we don't get a response, then R.I.P. Nice knowing you.
What's in the imprint there?
All right, let's give some gifts. Here we go. Let's see.
Roger
What are those on?
Hernandez,
Oh, sorry.
Light, Ray, Ouroboros Snake, Matthew Price. And that's it. Is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Love Matthew Price getting one. Matthew Price has been around for a long time.
And Electrics with the 50 Swedish krona. Saying 50 krona is like $4.90. Goes towards a comic or an ice cream. Thank you, Electrics. Appreciate it.
Bro,
It'll be either of those, to be honest.
Mr. Softy's like $5, dude. That's crazy.
There's an app you could actually track them in New York City. There's your Fat Boy News update from Tyler.
Wow. All right. So there is a Mr. Miracle series in the works,
Sweet.
which, yeah. So we're getting a Mr. Miracle series that appears like it's going to be based on the Tom King Mitch Gerrard's series.
Ah, crap.
Tom is the executive producer and showrunner, and I got to imagine he's also going to be writing for it. So that, I mean, that's as clear of a sign as any that we're going to be getting, an adaptation of their comic. How do you guys feel about that?
Okay, I know there are some hot takes on the internet about this, but personally speaking,
You're about to get one.
I know. Personally speaking, Mr. Miracle was my intro to the New Gods. As somebody who's typically a Marvel fan, Mr. Miracle kind of opened up this world for me, outside of the New Gods being side background characters for me in the DC universe. It had a more personal take on the New Gods and through the lens of like just a married couple with a kid. I think that could then be the same thing for these characters in the DC universe for the film and TV franchises. Cale, would you like to speak about Tom King?
That's not for me. Thanks. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about Mr. Miracle. I think had I read it when it came out, I think I would have really loved it. But um, for me, a lot of those characters came off with the same Tom King snark that everybody else does, and it just got old. I think my I think my overall worry for that is what will the characters look and sound like? I think is the more, what will their voice be? Um, but there's not one currently. So I guess that's better than nothing.
And it can't just be a voice thing too. I mean, like hasn't he said beforehand that the characters that are playing them in the animated series will be playing them in live action as well? So you kind of need to cast for like you can't just get a good voice actress for Big Barda. This needs to be somebody who could play her as well.
She needs to be tall.
She needs to be a big.
This was exciting. Hearing about this, I really liked that series, and I think yes, Tom King, but this is a different medium now. We're introducing a um, maybe more people in the mix, and so there's gonna be revisions, there's gonna be edits, there's gonna be made for TV moments. I'm hype about the art. I think Mitch is on this. Hell yeah.
Apparently, Mitch drew this promotional image.
Hell yeah. Easy, easy. Like him having that digital media flair that pops up in this series, I want to see translated on TV. That'll be crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I love Mr. Miracle, the series. I thought it was awesome. I'm just having a really hard time figuring out how this makes sense within the context of this new universe. I think that we don't know enough, so I don't want to like I don't know if it's even going to be a part of that universe. Right now, all we know is that they're making this, and on its face, without any other tethers, cool. Sounds good. I will definitely watch this. But if you tell me that this is a part of the DC, extended universe that they're doing and everything else, then that makes me say, well, what about all the other New God shit you have to establish for this to make a lick of sense? We haven't even seen Darkseid yet. I highly doubt that Superman is going to establish Darkseid right out the gate. And even if it did, I think that you still need more knowledge about the new gods and everything else in order to do Mr. Miracle and have it fit cleanly. So for me, if in that context, I don't need this. It's too soon.
Say it's a direct adaptation, right? The whole Dark Side is and all that. I think the Mr. Miracle maxi series that exists establishes what you need to know for those characters. And I think if this is a direct adaptation that just happens to live in the DC wider universe of movies, I think it still works. I mean, it's not it's obviously not necessary viewing. It's an animated thing. It's not going to be watched by everyone. So if when Darkseid shows up somewhere else, they can reestablish him there. Comics do it all the time.
That's
So
not what I mean. What I mean is that in the comics, Darkseid existed for, I don't know, 60 years before Mr. Miracle series, right? And so you have the context within the world of comics for the New Gods, for Darkseid, for Apocalypse, for all these things and concepts that even if you only read Mr. Miracle, they predate you. And they have to work within the wider spectrum of the universe. The same is going to apply for the films and television if it's connected. If it's connected and Darkseid appears, what is Apocalypse? Who are the New Gods? All of those question marks need answers. And I don't imagine that Darkseid's first appearance is going to be in an animated series. So how do you make it play and work with all the tethers? I don't think you can just here's all this stuff and leave it like that. What position are the New Gods in? I don't know. I think there are a lot of questions.
I mean, that could be why it's and again, we don't know anything about this. We only just got the announcement. But that could be why it's an animated series and not a limited series or a specific, episode count of whatever. If it's a relatively ongoing thing, that could be the full introduction of the New Gods and the New Gods concept.
Like this being a multi-season thing.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it kind of was for me. Like I hadn't read New Gods before this. Sure, I knew who Darkseid was, but outside of that, like this, I think the what you get in the Mr. Miracle book actually does establish that
Enough of it for a
to
new
understand.
consumer.
Yeah,
Like in the like you don't need to know uh you don't necessarily need to know Barda's history as much as
but
you need to know that she's in a loving relationship with Scott and
you
concern for his mental health in that
but you
situation.
get her history in the comic too.
You do,
Yeah,
but I'm
and you
saying
get
like
Scott's history. You get the myth of the sons in Apocalypse and New Genesis. Like it's all there. So I think this series could be a New Gods series, animated series in a way. Sure, it's Mr. Miracle, but I think it has the potential to introduce all those things and establish that, and where Darkseid exists and all that. Darkseid is probably the only well-known quantity in that, and a lot of the times it's just Darkseid. So I think this could work, even in the larger scheme of the DCU.
It'll be interesting to see how this project plays out. It could be Elseworlds, it could be, we really don't know enough. So we'll have to see. How well received was Creature Commandos? I feel like it was okay.
I heard
Yeah.
really positive
Yeah.
things about it.
Uh,
It's the second season, right?
it's got a second season. Yeah, I watched all of it, which is it's just strange for me. I enjoyed most of it. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think it had good enough buzz. Like Robot Man was pretty much a not Robot Man. GI Robot was a pretty standout character for a lot of people, and I think it did fine for what it was. I mean, it's not invincible. Invincible was huge, but I think for what it was, it did its job. Yeah, and Kenny suit here. I love Commandos. Yeah.
So that's really it as far as the DC updates. We don't know the full scope of the 10-year plan, but it's filling out. It's filling out. So much is up in the air. And the time for talking is nearly over. For the last about 3 years, we've been hearing James Gunn talk about all these things that are going to happen, and now we're staring down the barrel of Superman releasing next month. um and that's really exciting. So
Yeah.
hopefully Hopefully it does well. Hopefully people take to it. The marketing has been there for Superman. Um, and I think it's going to be a hit. And then after that, just a wait and see game.
You guys get your tickets?
Oh yeah.
Not Marco.
I was the first person to get a ticket for the theater that I'll be in.
Yeah, me too. I got it right smack dab in the middle. I was tempted to get the Amazon Prime one that comes out on a Tuesday, but we like to do some stuff on the Comics Pals here on Tuesday, so I neglected to.
It's Cole says it's success if it's getting a second season. I didn't even know it was getting a second season.
Yeah, they teased at the end too. It looks pretty fun. Second season, it looks like it's gonna be more akin to Agents of Shade, which I dig. I wanted to bring out Dan Trudeau's comment here. For the foreseeable future, Darkseid will come off to the general audience as a Thanos knockoff, which is frustrating. He can say in the background.
Come on, that's nah.
I don't disagree with that.
General audiences.
Yeah. Thanos hit first.
It doesn't matter. Darkseid is cool as fuck.
But that doesn't matter for somebody who doesn't know.
Yeah, it does. Because people will see him and be like, oh shit, that's cool as fuck. You know how many people were clamoring for Darkseid to pop out that fucking boom tube in the first Justice League movie?
Yeah, all those bots on Twitter.
No. You guys are bugging with that. Darkseid is a known quantity. What, like you're speaking as if there are no fans of DC. Like
No,
people know what Darkseid.
but in the similar sense of like, if this Mr. Miracle show, it needs to do this legwork to introduce people, right? That means that there's a larger population of people that don't know Darkseid who will come into this as a general audience in the movie space and be like, "Oh, this guy's cool as shit. He looks like Thanos." Because I might have seen that first.
But Darkseid has been in almost every single Superman at least animated adaptation. There was already the conversation about Darkseid, major conversation 10 years ago when we were talking about the Justice League movie. He appears in I believe, at the end of the Justice League movie, at least the Zack Snyder version. Darkseid is not an unknown character.
I think yeah, you're right about the animated stuff. A lot of people don't watch it. And I think he will, like, there are some people who still don't know who's DC and who's Marvel. You know? Like our knowledge and the knowledge in this sphere, I don't think translates to the real, like, to the general audiences. So I think people will be comparing him to Thanos. And it's okay to keep him on the burner for a bit.
Sure. I think Darkseid is great too, but Thanos has taken his thunder. They even changed his mission to make it more like Darkseid, and the Black Order are knockoffs of Darkseid's minion. What the fuck?
But
I don't know about that last part.
yeah, or even the first part, like,
You got
all about equality, not the anti-life equation.
well, they're not gonna bring the anti-life equation into.
Day one, dude.
No way.
You need to. That's his whole. That's his whole
I don't
gimmick.
even. I think even Kirby wasn't totally sure what that was. Well, no, that's not true. The problem is Warner
never
Brothers isn't gonna let them put that down.
The problem is that Kirby never told anybody what it actually was.
No, he told people the anti-life equation is capitalism. The problem is Warner Brothers isn't gonna let that happen.
So the anti life equation is Warner Brothers.
Yep.
By the transitive property.
That's like issue 2 of the New Gods.
So Zaslav
Planet-
is playing Darkseid. I can get my slide back, actually. I made him that on my slide. There we go.
Planet 628 says, I'm about to switch streams. This is crazy talk. I'm with you, dude. I don't know what's happening. Disgruntled Dev says, the truth is Darkseid is still a very popular character in popular culture, to be honest. He is DC's big bad. His plans don't need to be the anti-life. It can be anything. Completely agree.
I think you need to focus on characters like Grodd instead.
Yes, make Grodd the big bad of the DC universe. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
actually, yeah.
Gorilla City attacks the Mascara, attacks Atlantis.
Lex Luthor's going to be a big bad. I think that I think what they're going to play on is maybe making their own little Legion of Doom. Something we never seen in film.
That would be very cool.
Darkseid don't fit there. That's
Yeah.
that's Toyman. That's Cheetah. That's Grodd. That's Black Manta. Okay, that's an actor I want to see come back. What's his name? Oh wait, no, he's at Marvel now. Never mind. He's not gonna be Black Manta again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Never mind. Go ahead. Let's go.
We've got more show to do. We will certainly be reviewing Superman. So when that drops, make sure you guys come here. I think it's July 11th. So that means July 12th, we'll be reviewing Superman. That should be fun. Everybody got chat. Make sure you get your tickets. This is a warning to make sure you go ahead and grab your tickets. They've been going fast. So I don't know about you guys, but I barely got a ticket to see Fantastic Four. That was tough.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a tough market in terms of movie seats, so hopefully it's easier for everyone else.
I'll get mine. No sweat.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, same.
If you're trying to get like those IMAX, that big IMAX theater that's in New York City, good luck.
No, I go to my nice little local theater here. They got seats whenever you want.
I go
Whenever you want, whether it's filming or not, it's showing. It's just hey, you want to sit down, go ahead.
Yeah.
I go at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. It's gonna be great.
So I definitely want to make sure that you guys know, because the book club is coming up at the end of the month, that Jonathan Hickman and his incredible run on Fantastic Four won the book club poll. So we will, in fact, be reading Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four for this book club. I'm thinking probably the first like 25-ish issues. We'll hash that out behind the scenes and let you know, but that's what's coming. So prepare for that. It should be fun. I actually just read the first what did I read? Like the first 20 or so issues for my own purposes, and it's really good. It still holds up.
Hell yeah.
Have you read that stuff, Marco?
I forget which one it was because there's so many like in that moment and era by Hickman, like FF, and then I think spelled out Future Foundation. I was reading the one where Franklin, Valeria are in space just exploring shit. I don't know which one that is. They're just like out there with like the family. Spider-Man's on the team, I think, for like a hot second. You see all the Council of Reeds.
Yeah.
But I don't know which one that is.
Spider-Man's on the team for a good amount of time. Johnny Storm was dead, so he
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Maybe they were in like in white suits.
Yeah, that's FF.
Yeah, that's
FF.
yeah.
FF or Future Foundation.
Well, FF was Future Foundation.
Oh, okay. That's what I've read.
When I saw this, when you told us, my initial reaction was, oh man, because of all the recent Hickman business that's been going on, with Imperial and basically being Marvel's mercenary or whatever. But then I had to stop myself and go, hang on. We like this Hickman. This was when he was doing the good stuff.
Yeah, this is Hickman at the height of his powers, arguably. And like I said, I recently reread it, and it's phenomenal. So yeah.
Is it Dale Eaglesham for the majority of the beginning?
Yeah, there's a handful of artists that are a part of it. I can't remember everybody.
Epting is during some of it as well.
Yeah.
Epting is when I jumped in. I know Epting was the artist when because I jumped in mid arc. I've never read the beginning of this.
Starts strong. Starts really, really strong. Atomic Hound was hoping for our first Silver Age book club, but Pals will do a great job with Hickman's run. Yeah, I really thought Lee and Kirby would take it, and it was close. But didn't go that way.
Is there more reading like prior to that?
Prior to Hickman.
Yeah. Like and not like in the sense of like obviously, but like directly before his start.
So there is a tie-in to, I think it's Dark Reign. I think it's Dark Reign Fantastic Four, and it um it establishes something that's fairly important about the about Hickman's run. It's written by Hickman, and so it kind of is relevant, and we'll probably read that. Um, it establishes that Reed lied to Sue about something pretty important, and that plays into the rest of the story. So we may or may not tackle that.
Mama.
Kurt Wild just says FF has some early Nick Dragotta, their first collaboration, I'm pretty sure.
No way. Hell yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
It is funny how Dark Reign is where this stuff starts, and that was the last book we read was during the Dark Reign era, so it's almost like the book club has some continuity for once.
Hell yeah. I love that. Um, Silhouette, I liked Hickman's Fantastic Four more than his Avengers. It's only second to Hoxpox. I mean, that's how many writers can you think of that have a trinity of books that good in their arsenal? Hoxpox, Fantastic Four, and event and his Avengers. That's crazy. Crazy. But what that also means is that it leads us into our favorite Fantastic Four characters. We are on number 3. So let's get those out there. Our number 3 favorite Fantastic Four characters.
I'll go. And just for clarity, my list does not have any of the Fantastic Four characters in it. I mean, like the main four. I'm going on hard mode. But my number 3 is Norin Rad, Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is actually my intro to comics. That was the first action, like Marvel action figure I can remember having, was the Silver Surfer. It was specifically the Marvel Legends when they had the comic in the back. And this one was packaged with Howard the Duck. So Howard the Duck and Silver Surfer were my first toys for Marvel, surprisingly enough. And I loved that thing. I thought this guy was so cool. It's so simple. It's like, oh, he's just a silver dude. How cool is that? He's got a surfboard? That's rad. Didn't realize how rad it was.
Norin.
It was
That's
Norin
how
rad,
it
yeah.
was.
And then then once I actually got into it, and it ties into the Galactus of it all, and the fact that he's just this guy who means to do well. Yes, he kind of did some self-serving, and saved his planet and doomed others, but he has a shitty job and tries to do his best with it as possible. And there's some humanity there that I think is interesting. I think he was in the Annihilators for a bit, which tied into my love of that Abnett and the Landing era of space Marvel. Dan Slott's run on Silver Surfer is essentially Doctor Who, but I thought it was rad with Mike Allred on art in that whole run. Really humanized the character as well. I just think he's just one of the more cooler designs and characters in comics, and I'm glad that he's my number 3rd.
Glad Tyler can play on hard mode. I, on the other hand, will be using a crutch.
I mean, this whole list is hard mode for you.
Well, yeah. I will be talking about Mr. Fantastic. I like of the interactions I've had, the brain. Like I can see the flaw of his ego as well, and how that reflects against Victor Von Doom. Obviously, he's able to pull himself out, and I think has a support system of his family, which is really important and integral to the character. But then there's also these moments of like spontaneous creativity and invention, and I like those moments. Even in the most recent, some of the more recent stuff that we've read on the show and for Pals Pools, he's had these just like little brilliant moments, and it's fun in the context of the story think Ryan North has written that well. And in the past of what I've read, Hickman has written that really well. And so I'm a fan of the the way that his mind continues to run in the background, but then can also be a little tone deaf as it relates to his family, and that's tension. So yeah, I number 3 is Mr. Fantastic.
My number 3 is going to be Ant-Man from the FF series. They Matt Fraction's FF series with Mike Allred. This was and this specifically Scott Lang, who was still he'd been in the background for a while. You know, he'd come back after being killed by an explosion at the Avengers mansion or whatever, and came back, and then his daughter was killed somehow.
That was during Children's Crusade.
Oh, is that it? Okay. And you know, he spends a lot of time grieving. And he spends a few years, you know, in our time really grieving, and he's not, you know, in a ton of places anyway, but the where he comes in to hang out with the FF is, you know, the Fantastic Four and Richards family are all going off into space, and someone needs to watch this group of delinquents who are the school of the Future Foundation, and they just need someone to hang out with them, and he doesn't want to do it, but you know, the Moloids and Dragon Man and all of those, like they sort of convince him that, yeah, I can be a father figure and you know, teach people teach these kids how to be heroes and how to use their gifts for good versus you know, being a thief or a villain the way you know he was when he started.
I love that book.
Yeah, I think I think that book is better than the Fantastic Four. Are we doing 2 as well, or is it just 3 this week?
Just 3.
Just 3.
For me, my number 3 is Sue Storm. Invisible Woman. She's just cool as shit. She is I always liked her powers the best of the Fantastic Four because I always thought it would be cool to be invisible. And I like the fact that she's the mother figure of the team. She's the literal mother. But she's also a badass. And one of the cool things about her character is that as much as she loves Reed, she's her own person. And that's something that I think a lot of writers have had to find and iterate on over the years because she wasn't in the original book. She was very much that, like, the, you know, oh, whatever Reed wants is what I'll do. And, you know, she was very much that character, and that sucks. But the way she's evolved over the decades has been amazing to watch and see. Um, I'm most excited for her in the upcoming Fantastic Four film. Vanessa Kirby, first of all, her last name is literally perfect, but she looks the part. And so I'm very excited for that. But what I was going to say about Sue is that she has other interests. And the way she reacts to Namor is something that might rub a lot of people the wrong way, but it doesn't for me because it shows that she's not willing to just take the unhappiness in her marriage lying down, so to speak. You know, there are other people in the world, and there are other people who get her attention. And so that kind of forces Reed to be on his toes, like, oh shit, you know, my wife is a bit of a baddie, and I need to make sure that I do the right things by her. Um, to me, she's the backbone and heart of the Fantastic Four. I think she's the most powerful of the Fantastic Four, and Not my favorite member, but definitely up there. I love Sue Storm, and I can't wait to see her done justice in this film.
Bit of a baddie with quite the fatty.
Oh, jeez.
Not
Okay,
going to disagree with that at all.
that's someone's mother. I am excited for Vanessa Kirby though, because it seems like she's done a lot of homework for the character too. Like she knew who Malice was. Like, all right, you did your deep dive. Cool.
She changed her last name to Kirby, dude.
She's ready.
Committed to the. That's method
To be fair,
acting.
I would
to
have done
like
it too
another.
if I can get a Marvel bag like that
Yeah.
easily.
Easy.
Near says, "Sup pals? Just ate an Amish pie." Well,
Hell yeah,
that's
dude.
a lucky Amish person then. Hope she's doing good.
Come
Nice.
on.
Nice. Going the same way.
Churning butter over there.
Damn.
Tom McCown with a 1999. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, Happy birthday, Sean. Tyler and Clark, who was found by the Kents on June 18th. Yeah, that's right. That is absolutely right. That was established. I don't know if it was established by Wade, but I know it's made official now, certainly, that Clark's birthday, his Earth Day, is June 18th. So celebrating three of us today.
His gotcha day.
His gotcha day.
Yep.
And happy birthday to you, sir.
Red Spiral says it was referenced she cheated on Reed Richards with Black Panther in Wakanda in a Marvel Knights issue. Oh shit. Didn't know that. Wow.
Near says Mrs. Near heard that.
Tyler's starting trouble.
Wasn't too far away. It wasn't far enough away.
Hey, well, it happens. It happens.
So, as you may know, patrons at our highest tier have the ability to send in questions to us, one per month per patron, and we want more of them. So please keep them coming. If you can hear me and you're in that tier, you send a question because we want them. And this week we've got one from Hayden's Hideout. Anybody want to grab this question from Hayden?
Yeah, I got it. One of the series I plan to read for my Summer of Superman binge is John Byrne's Man of Steel. I heard the script was originally created because WB tried to sell the most popular DC titles, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Teen Titans, Justice League, and the Legion of Superheroes, to Marvel. Marvel declined the offer as they viewed the characters as non-profitable. If the deal had gone through, how do you think the Marvel universe would have changed? Superman on the Avengers? Beast Boy becomes an X-Man? Wonder Woman marrying Thor? Cyborg and Armor Wars?
I like that idea about Superman on the Avengers. It maybe they take him down the Sentry route because they have that ownership. You can kind of do your spin on it.
Well, I think Sentry wouldn't exist.
Right, right.
That archetype would have been filled. Hyperion probably wouldn't exist.
They would need him.
Yeah.
Probably lose characters more than anything else because you don't have to make analogs, or at the very least you the inspiration for that would be too derivative in the same universe.
And I think that's a good point because I think if Marvel did do this, I think the only smart option would be to just publish them as a separate universe. And then have a crossover at some point. But I think integrating them would have been too messy.
If all they had was these, if it was just the most popular, I don't think you can do a universe out of that. So to me, well, Justice League and Legion of Superheroes, I mean, if that's most people. So yeah, maybe you could have. I think they probably smash them together if they were to accept it. I think it leads to a de-emphasis of Marvel characters who just aren't as popular. Like how do you handle having so many characters under one house? That's a tricky situation. I I would love to see it as an experiment, but as a long-term thing, I'm actually uninterested. I find the DC universe compelling on its own, And I find the Marvel universe compelling on its own. I don't really need them long term to be put together in this way.
What year would this have been? 81, did he say?
So if you're talking about John Byrne's Man of Steel, then you're talking about 86,
86.
Yeah,
Okay.
post crisis.
post-crisis. Yeah.
And this is, did Giant Size X-Men come out at this point?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
86? Okay, all right. So then the X-Men are probably safe. I was gonna say if it was before Giant Size X-Men, then I think potentially Legion might have eclipsed X-Men in this world. But yeah, in my eyes, it's like, all right, what Marvel doesn't publish because they have the rights to all these other things. Like New Warriors doesn't exist. Marvel was pretty much focusing on a lot of street level characters. Like Spider-Man was huge around this time. How do you... Man, maybe Batman and Spider-Man would have crossed over at some point. Those characters can probably play around the same level. But yeah.
I definitely think you could publish all of them and
Sure.
still like release things, just because like even now where we have the two competing against each other, you're gonna buy what you're gonna buy, whether or not it's from a previously DC title or a Marvel title. If anything, there's just more potential for you to bleed into something else because you're already picking up Marvel books. Might come across a DC book.
And if all DC, this would have been everything besides Batman, I guess. So if that's all DC had was Batman and Batman's family, then Marvel kind of owns comics at that point. So they can publish whatever they want.
Batman was included in this, according to Hayden.
Okay, got it. Then yeah, they could publish whatever they want. They could just keep publishing stuff. So I don't even think they necessarily need to even cut down on things if they corner the entire market of superheroes.
Who's a villain that they would have picked up that you would have liked to see crossover with like a superhero?
Lex and Tony would be fun, but I don't think Tony
Oh.
was as prominent. I mean, yeah, he was still
They're the same character though, so
That's why.
I'd like to see Lex and Captain America.
This would have been around Nomad era.
I just think there's something there. Like, I think Captain America would fucking hate Lex. And I think Lex would actually respect Captain America
I think so.
because he's
yeah.
a human.
Oh yeah,
You know, Lex
Sure.
trying to find that super soldier serum for himself.
and a soldier. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. I think it would burn him up that to find out that Cap really fucking hates him too.
Exactly.
It's very Elon Musk.
Well,
think
I
they're-
think it's just Iron Man if you turn the page, right?
Sure,
If you flip it.
Sure. The idiot in me just wants to see Gladiator and Superman duke it out.
I don't
Okay,
know
this-
that I sorry, go ahead.
Wasn't Secret Wars in 84? Maybe they planned to have IPs cross at that point. I mean, if the offer was made in 86 or somewhere in that time frame. I mean, Man of Steel came out in 86, right? So the offer must have been made before that.
Yeah, Hayden said the deal was supposedly offered in 84.
Okay. All right. So then in that case, I don't think that they would have been thinking about it in relationship to Secret Wars.
They were thinking about toys when it came to Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Although if they had the rights to Superman and toys and that emblem,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
super everybody. Yo, Trigon and Doctor Strange.
That's just a Doctor Strange story.
Yeah.
What? Oh. Right.
Like, oh, look, another demon.
How about Trigon and the X-Men?
Ooh.
Tell me.
Damn. I thought that first. I was like, no, I think maybe it makes more sense with Doctor
Gotta
Strange.
go with your gut. Go with your gut.
I've been sitting here literally thinking like, oh, X-Men.
Stop thinking with the processor and go with your gut.
Oh, well, it's currently processing.
I think I'd rather live in the world where these two entities are separate. And I almost think that if I almost think that if this were to happen, that we wouldn't have a comics industry anymore. Because the industry probably crashes anyway in the 90s. There's nothing, I don't think this changes anything from that perspective. And then it's all on Marvel. And so if Marvel, yeah, no, I think the industry collapses.
Well, stay tuned. November 2025, Batman Deadpool #1.
And I think a massive part of that is Marvel's, ethos of it being the world outside your window. Superman and Batman and the Legion and even the Titans are characters who exist outside of our world. It doesn't like it's buildings and it's stuff we recognize, but they're entirely different places. Whereas, when Spider-Man is swinging through New York City, you can see it. It feels like, there's something about a Marvel comic that does genuinely feel like it's happening in our world. It's so established.
Swinging from the Empire State Building.
Yeah, I don't think it works.
Yeah.
I don't think so. You know what I would love? I would love to know if there was any creative thought at all. Like, was there a plan? Did anybody behind the scenes have an idea of how to make this work? I would love to read that if that exists. Damn, now you got me going, Hayden. Now I'm feeling that feeling. There's things I need to know about this.
You got the Peter tingle going on?
Huh?
Have you read that Untold history, Sean?
I haven't.
I think that would spark a lot of ideas for you. Great audiobook too, if you're interested in that.
Probably fuel your deep dive bank for a while.
There's a part of me that has a deep dive personally about Steve Gerber, who I think is an untold treasure in a modern sense.
I don't know who that is.
Howard the Duck creator, but also did a lot of interesting stuff in Marvel at the time.
The Gerber baby guy?
Oh.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's my turn to call you a dummy, Marco.
Winner of all of this is Uncanny Suit with Death of Superman, but instead of Doomsday, it's Onslaught. Correct. Well done, sir.
Fuck that.
The psionic energy, and he's susceptible to psionic energy.
He's
Who
not.
is? Who told you that?
Surely.
What,
Who told you
Superman?
that?
Superman
And
susceptible?
quit calling me Shirley.
Electric's trying to kill Sean here with another 50 Corona, saying another ice cream.
But not for me. Not for me. Thank you, Hayden, for the question. I appreciate you inspiring this thoughtful conversation. And again, our highest tier members on our Patreon can submit questions, and we hope that you do. So thank you very much. Let's keep things rocking. We've got a couple of news items to get into. Before we take a look at Reddit, and we are going to do it today, I'm putting my freaking foot down on myself and making sure we do this today because I wanted to do it for a long time. The top Marvel villains according to Reddit. So we will do that a little bit later. But let's talk about Donnie Cates. So Donnie Cates is making the rounds. He's doing interviews. He's the belle of the ball because he's about to make his return to writing comics. And we don't know where he's going to land yet. He said he's talking to everybody and, Marvel, DC. He'll probably do some independent stuff. He's all over the map. But this week, an interview dropped between him and Chris Arant from Popverse. And he talked about what he originally wanted to do with Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, of course, we know that Donnie Cates was the original writer of Ultimate Spider-Man and the original person to spearhead the Ultimate Universe's revival. And of course, that didn't happen because Donnie Cates was in a car accident that threw his life into disarray. and we got Jonathan Hickman as the spearheader, and everything has unfolded the way you know. Cates talked to Popverse about what it was that he would have done with Spider-Man and the impetus behind his decision making. So, quote, my entire pitch for Ultimate Spider-Man was that people want him to be married, to have kids. Do it for them. What are we doing here? There's an entire contingent of people screaming for him and Mary. It's like we have a Chili's. You have people screaming for ice cream. No, fuck you. We don't have ice cream. Sell ice cream. What the fuck is wrong with you? The thing is that people who read those original Ultimate Spider-Man books are now my age, right? And Donnie's 40. And Spider-Man's not really a cipher for us anymore because we've all got jobs and kids and stuff like that. And the idea of great responsibility is way different than Peter's life. So you have to see what's harder, to be Spider-Man with these ideas of responsibility when you have no one at home waiting for you. It's hard when there's a lot. It takes more of a hero, but he does it even though he has these things at home, to me. He also said that Tom Holland was a kid and that the mainline Spider-Man books, in the mainline Spider-Man books, he's perpetually a kid. And finally, Spider-Man has always been there for me. And I pitched it because I wanted to have a Spider-Man for me. So I said the Ultimate Spider-Man for us would look like us, a little gray in the beard, has to go to the store to get stuff for the kids. I was like, that's what people would respond to now because we grew up and didn't have a Peter for us there anymore. Now, well, there's one more thing I wanted to read. Eventually, when you give him a wife and kids, what's going to happen is either he's going to have adult kids and you have a grandfather of Spider-Man, or he's going to lose a child, or he's going to get a divorce. That's their reasoning. That taints Spider-Man over time. So that's the idea that Marvel wouldn't want Spider-Man to have those things because then it would necessitate them to show us him getting older and everything else.
Or them taking it away.
Yeah.
Is he shading the current Hickman run a bit?
No, I think current Hickman run is what he would have done.
I think presumably we would have spent more time with him, with Peter.
He's shading mainline Spider-Man. He's saying, why can't we give mainline Spider-Man a wife and kids? And that Ultimate Spider-Man is an answer to that.
It's going to be one of those big what ifs, huh? Like, what if we had Donnie Cates' Ultimate? Who knows what that could have been like? Does he have anything announced? No, right?
No.
He's just doing contours at this point. I know he's back on X, Twitter, or whatever. He just tweeted for the first time in years the other day.
Uncanny Suit says Spider-Man's greatest weakness, divorce. Donnie Cates is too.
Yikes.
Go ahead, Sean.
Spiral Storm reached out to me and wanted us to talk about this today. And Spiral is one of our biggest contributors and certainly a member of the best pals in the universe. So thank you to Spiral. But I don't think you're gonna like what I have to say, dude. Because I think Donnie Cates is full of shit. I think he is full of shit. And all due respect to him, he's the man in the chair. If he wrote Ultimate Spider-Man, that's cool. You know, if that's what he wanted to do, that's fine. I have no problem with Ultimate Spider-Man existing as it does because it's a separate thing. And it's Marvel being able to have its cake and eat it too. That's perfectly valid. But to say that mainline Spider-Man should be this way just because you want a version of Spider-Man that's quote unquote grown up, and by grown up we mean that he has kids, that's bullshit. Not all adults have to have kids in order to be adults. There are plenty of people who will live and die never reproducing, and they are valid.
Yeah. And my other thing too is like, where's the work? He was indie darling for a good spell, about to do a big run in Ultimates. I mean, on the Ultimate run, and it had an accident, and I know there was some, admitted brain memory loss and stuff like that. But it's been a while. He's doing these con circuits. There's nothing. He's not writing for Marvel. He's not writing for DC. He's not even doing his Kids Who Change stuff. There's no output from him. Shit or get off the pot.
I'm sure he's getting back into the fold, and this is like,
Yeah.
the direction to get into that.
Yeah, this stuff takes time,
Yeah.
shopping that stuff around and, getting stuff off the ground and even like all this, honestly, is probably to get his name back out there for a conversation, right? Get his name back in the press, get people thinking about Donnie Cates again.
You don't think Marvel or
Also-
DC, if they wanted him, they would just taken him as soon as he was able to write?
I'm sure he has to come pitch though.
He's a name.
It's just not as easy. It's not that simple, man. I mean, he's talked about it in interviews where he's having conversations with them and they're trying to make stuff happen. A lot of his collaborators from his other works have moved on. Ryan Stegman is doing X-Men right now. So he can't just go back to Kids Love Chains. And as far as Marvel and DC, they've got their ecosystem. So now it's about, where does Donnie Cates fit? Who are you bumping off to give Donnie Cates a spot? That's an uncomfortable conversation that happens.
Yeah.
So
And DC's slate right now is not only full, but full of all the people they took from Marvel.
yeah,
And Marvel doesn't care about talent anymore. So
Back to the indies it is.
we'll see. I mean, but the point of this piece here is about what he's saying about Spider-Man and these characters and growing up, and I'm sick and tired of this selfishness.
Bro, get over Donnie, my boy, get over it. One more day, 20 years ago. Relax. It's over.
I just think I think ultimately we can have our cake and eat it too. I think the problem is that Ultimate just isn't doing it the way that people want it. Your mileage may vary on the quality of the series, but the fact is we're not seeing Peter go pick up cereal because his kids need it, right? He's not struggling to be a dad because he's off being Spider-Man. That's not what's happening in the book. It's just not. And like, I think this is an execution problem at this point, because what people are asking for, we have, but Marvel's fucking it up again.
Even
executionally, like, they're not pulling it off.
like the current pitch for Ultimate Spider-Man is what people have been craving, and it is what this Donnie Cates is mentioning. But in the actual book, it's not that.
It's more about Harry Osborn than it is.
Yeah, and it's also more about Peter trying to become Spider-Man.
More about Harry Osborn than it is about Peter being a dad.
We had a whole
It's more
issue
about Gwen
about
Stacy.
Yeah, I was just about to say Mysterio and Gwen Stacy.
I don't think that's. Why the fuck would I want to spend $4.99 a month to read a book about a guy buying cereal? Like,
I can do that for less money.
I will do that for less money.
you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. That's not what I want to read. And I don't even put this on Marvel. Like, Jonathan Hickman is doing what Jonathan Hickman wants to do. Fine. Donnie Cates would have done what he wanted to do. Fine. Whatever. For the people who want Ultimate Spider-Man and they want, Peter as a dad and everything else, that's perfectly fine. I have no issue with that at all. Stop thinking that the character has to exist in a chrysalis based on when you started reading him. I don't care that 20 years ago, when Ultimate Spider-Man was being published, he was a kid and all those people grew up. I was one of those kids. I grew up. I'm 35 in 2 days. I don't have kids. I might never. Is that the only way you can be an adult in this world? Peter has had jobs in the comics forever. He's been an adult in the comics for 40 years.
Or
Get your head out of your ass. He's been an adult for 40 years. I don't understand why people say he's not an adult. He is an adult. Some adults don't have stable lives. Some adults don't have stable housing.
Especially where Peter Parker lives, New York City.
especially the area he lives, Forest Hills, where he's coming from.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
way. He's
Get
being able to
out of
afford
here,
that,
bro.
right?
I
He's
want to see his studio
Yeah.
that has only a kitchenette, living in Brooklyn, because he's like, damn, yo, rent's tough.
Yo,
right now."
MCU got that right with the end of that last Spider-Man movie. That dude had a studio. Like that feels legit. Raimi got
That
it right too.
that he had a sewing machine put him in a different time. That fool doesn't know how to sew. Get out of here.
Cole, you're completely 100% wrong. You could not be any more wrong. Cole said you are just as passionate, but in wanting single Parker forever. It's two sides of the same coin. I never said that. I never said I want a single Peter Parker. That never came out of my mouth. I am saying that you're not an adult without a marriage and children is wrong. If a writer came around and had an idea for a married Peter and Marvel went for it, I have no problem with that. I'm not the arbiter of what is okay in Spider-Man comics, but neither are you, and neither is Donnie Cates. And that's what I'm arguing with. The idea that someone has it right and that the right answer is that he be married with children. That is not the right answer. It's not the only possibility.
It's a very nuclear family view on what adulthood is.
Yeah.
That is not, in my eyes, a modern view. Give me Polly Peter Parker. Ooh, actually, hold on.
Hold on.
I mean, they won't even do that for Archie. Like,
Oh,
well,
they did actually. In Riverdale,
Oh,
they
okay.
did that way. Yeah.
well,
They were-
Riverdale,
They were
that's
a
different.
quartet by the finale.
Yeah, Riverdale's different.
Talk about four pillars.
The human experience is not a monolith. It doesn't work like that. It's not A, B, C, D. That's not life. And Peter's life is a reflection of what people go through.
I'd say the divorce from Mary Jane, probably the most relatable Peter's been.
For
Well,
for some people, yeah.
Statistically speaking, the numbers don't lie. They spell
statistically,
Like, you guys don't hear how you sound, and it's like it's in the Discord, it's everywhere. Like, you guys don't hear yourselves. That's not real life. Real life isn't everything goes perfectly for everybody. That's not how life works. And by the way, little secret, those comics that were coming out while Peter was married, not all that. Not all that. It's not like their marriage was this great vehicle for storytelling. It wasn't.
was that the JMS run?
I'm talking about even the 20 years before that.
For that, yeah.
I guess yeah. This is a huge swath of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
the generation of people who were reading Spider-Man as a kid grew up and they're like, I'm also in an unhappy marriage. This is relatable.
CW Gordon says, "Do we think a simple divorce would have been more accepted than the One More Day stuff?" No, it's comic books. You gotta comic book it up.
Yeah, like what? I mean, are we getting Spider-Man?
Oh,
It's not even
Hold on.
court cases, right? Like,
you're gonna get a Hickman infographic page, and it's just the paperwork for the divorce, which there's a lot of.
you know what? I would
There's
make that.
James, he literally said it, dude. He said he wants Spider-Man to have a kid. I'm not making it up or extrapolating. He said it. I just read the quotes. Eventually, when you give him the wife and kids, oh no, that's the wrong quote. I'm sorry.
Go back to the ice cream one.
The ultimate Spider-Man for us would look a little gray in his beard. He'd have to go to the store and get stuff for his kids. That's what people would respond to now because we grew up and didn't have a Peter for us anymore. He's literally saying that there's no Peter for them because they grew up and had all these things happen and it hasn't happened for Peter. Well, my question to Donnie Cates is how many times in your life have you been a CEO of a company? Because Peter was one. People always overlook that. Oh, he's a bum. He was the CEO of a company. He was a successful photographer.
I'd argue a lot of CEOs are bums, but you know.
Well,
For Peter to be more relatable to me, make him the bike salesman at a toy store. Let's see Spider-Man get out of a tricky retail situation to go be Spider-Man.
Let's see Peter Parker, the podcaster. Alliteration works.
Oh, God.
Dude, let's see his train line get decommissioned for repairs, and now he has to figure out how to get to work.
I mean, he
Wow,
lives in
hold
Queens,
on.
so he might be
Hold
doing
on.
that.
That won't work. That's not relatable. That's too localized to New York.
My bad. Sorry.
People won't like that.
His Wi-Fi goes out in his apartment.
There you go. Gavin wants to make a semi-bold statement on it. Let's hear it, Gavin.
Shoot. Spiral Storm says most marriages in Marvel aren't perfect. Peter and Mary Jane's wasn't. Reed and Sue's isn't. Clint and Bobby's wasn't. Yeah, you're right. My problem isn't perfection, it's that it's boredom. Those stories just weren't interesting. Like Mary Jane and Peter Parker as a married couple just wasn't interesting.
Kyle says when Peter was married, his main relationship conflict was just MJ hates him being Spider-Man. That's not interesting.
Yeah.
And Reed and Sue is a tough one to equate it to because that was at their inception. Spider-Man being a bachelor is at his inception.
I always say that. Whatever the character was created as, whatever happened within their first few years and becomes baked into them is what they're going to be. Reed and Sue are not a will they won't they. They will. That's it. Superman and Lois are not a will they won't they. They will. That's it. Peter had women before Mary Jane that were arguing. Gwen was more important than Mary Jane until she died. Why don't people make the argument that Gwen is Peter's one true parent?
I think they do. It's just
Gavin here. All right, here's the hot take. I'm married with kids and think it's cool that that's what we got. But saying you can't relate to a character that doesn't fit your life is saying you can't relate to a character because of race. So he's equating the two. And I think it's a very narrow view of what should be. And as a writer, you should be able to do better than that.
But I think what Donnie's saying is that it should be this way, as opposed to the two can exist in parallel, and in mainline that doesn't necessitate having to be a marriage, whereas the Ultimate Universe can do that.
Yes. My problem with his statement is just that like he's lambasting Marvel for not letting the character move forward in those ways, in the ways that we're seeing in Ultimate. And I don't think that that's necessarily moving forward. Like that's just, like everybody's life trajectory is different. And what Gavin is saying is something that I completely agree with. Are you saying that you can only relate to a character in your exact specific life situation? Because if you're saying that, that would explain a lot why the sales for books that star Black characters are where they are. And quite frankly, I think what Gavin said is exactly right. And I think that's a secret thing that a lot of people don't want to admit about themselves, but is actually true. But that's your problem. It's not my problem. You know why? Because my whole life, I've been reading stories about characters that do not look like me. And I've had to suck it up. So suck it the fuck up. That's what I say.
Man, I wasn't expecting Sean to be on the anti-Donnie Cates train for this bit.
I'm anti the sentiment. I'm
Sure.
pro Donnie Cates as a human. I just disagree with him on this point. That's all.
Gavin says also married dudes aren't the only people reading the book. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have flavor for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's selfish. It's selfish. Can't stand it. And Red Spiral again, who asked us to have this conversation, and I want to say, Spiral, thank you for asking us to have the conversation without having a specific thing you want us to say. Just asking the conversation to take place. I appreciate that kind of openness.
He unpinned the grenade, threw it in the room, and let us handle the explosion.
Hell yeah, I love
Jump
that.
on it.
I love that. But he says, I couldn't relate to Peter when he was made into a CEO when he got his body possessed by Doc Ock. Hey, that's never happened to me either, man.
that hasn't happened to you?
Yeah, that happened
Not
to me
yet.
once. Yeah. Oof, I was in Germany.
That's what I found the most relatable.
God, I'm so behind in life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Listen.
never too late to get a man inside you. Well, hold on. Hold on.
5 month. Look.
Hey.
All right. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
You're right.
New experiences might help the mental health too. We might be tackling both months at the same time. Just saying.
That's a good point. It is men's mental health month, and for some of us, I'll leave it there. Oh man.
Can we never talk about this again?
It's what gets the people going, Cale. Spider-Man marriage discourse. It isn't ever present.
I didn't have it in my calendar that it was this time of the week, and I just I wasn't prepared for it,
Mentally.
It's that strawberry moon that just hit. It infected a weird red
yeah,
spider glow over everything. Yeah.
That was wild stuff. All out of whack.
All right, we'll move on. Sorry I got so heated. This topic just burns me up because it's just whatever.
Because it's annoying as piss.
It is. Yeah, I don't know, man. Good comics are good comics. Let's just, I don't think it matters all that much. One thing I think we can all agree on, hopefully we can all agree on, is that censorship sucks. I think we can all agree on that. And so we should rally behind Gehenna, Naked Aggression, which is a book that has been denied by a printer. It's an Image comic that it has a Maria Lovett polybagged cover. She did a variant. Her art is I think her art is great. She's a great writer as well. She comes from Barcelona, and a lot of her books have a sexuality bend to them, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead, Tyler.
So I should show the cover uncensored, right? If we're anti-censorship.
Definitely not.
Okay,
because
good.
YouTube is very pro censorship.
I did censor this one. Okay, good. I did a censor myself. So Marco can see it in 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you. I Googled it already.
If you guys click the link to the article, it does include the uncensored version.
If you click the link on my bio.
So the uncensored version features a bare chest woman. I'm presuming it's the main character. And so you can see her bare chest, and then you can also see a bit of bush. A hint of bush.
The bush is back.
Bush is
2025 is the year of bush. We need a third term. No, never mind. No.
That is a crazy edit, Tyler. Holy.
I figured it was appropriate.
That was really good. So they're censoring this because of race?
No, Bush.
So they're censoring it because they object to the material. Now, Bleeding Cool was able to speak to Patrick Kindlon, who is the writer behind this book, and he said, maybe it was the pubic hair. We respect the printer's right to run their business as they want, but we need to get the word out to readers that this book will be pushed back due to no fault of ours or Image Comics. Now, I wanted to talk about this partially to get Image off the hook. I've seen people blaming Image about this. This is not Image's fault. Image has a reputation and a history for publishing a lot of these kinds of books with no problem whatsoever. Image is the same publisher that let Saga go with some of the craziest things we've seen from a major publisher.
No polybag either.
No polybag. Raw dog.
Sex criminals.
A book called Sex.
Right.
Yeah.
So Image deserves no part of the blame for this. This is all on the printer. And it sucks because if you've ever tried to make a comic, all right, you know how hard it is.
Mm.
And when you get to that final lap, which printing is near that final lap, and you're told, nah, we object to the material. And now you got to go find another printer. Hopefully you can find the same deal that you had, because printing comics is all about that deal. And now you have to go through all that bullshit again. I feel for them.
And there's been a weird wave of puritanical censorship to sex
Yeah.
lately. You know, I don't know if you guys are on Sabrina Carpenter discourse TikTok or
Actually, I am. Yeah.
and X. It is interesting, and a lot of it's coming from Gen X too.
Yep.
It's a weird shift. It's like the one friend that's too woke. You know what I mean? Like we've gone
X
the
or Z?
whole.
Oh,
Is this a? Did I miss the
X or Z?
Z. Yeah,
The Gen.
Z. Gen Z.
Oh, Gen
The
Z.
new
Sorry,
people.
sorry. I was like
Gen
new
Z
people, yeah.
on X.
I'm like-
Z and A.
Yeah, I was like, did they
Woof.
change? Did Elon make another change? Yeah. It's Gen Z. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. It's like that things cannot be sexy anymore without it being offensive or against women. And I know this is a podcast with 4 dudes on it, so I'm not going to speak too much on this. I'll sit down and listen. And I know we're based on our viewership, it's mostly dudes too. But there is a weird shift that I think is a bad. It's a bad omen for where things are going. And yeah, I think this is bad. This is bad. I don't think art should be censored in this way, especially from like a printer being like, yeah, we're not going to do it. The publisher's fine with it. Like, get your what's the printer doing? They're losing money out on this.
It's a weird stance. I think also Tyler, I literally just saw the the image, so thank you very
Very
much.
funny.
Yeah. Um, it's weird that we're rubber banding to this, and I understand that you're a private business. You're going to do whatever you want to do in these situations, and I think it's one of those things where it is sad that this printer will not do so, but another printer will, and I think that in this situation, it's okay that they've chosen this route, not because of the censorship, but because those two things have to exist here.
And also,
Yeah,
like,
what were you gonna say?
Well, I'm still thinking. Marco, what are you saying?
I'm saying that I disagree, but I disagree with,
with the choice?
with the choice.
Yeah.
But it's okay that it exists. It's okay that it exists. I understand that somebody's gonna have a different opinion from me about this situation.
what are this? What's the printer losing here? It's not like anyone knows who the printer is when it comes out. Like, it's not like their reputation is at stake. Like, what is it? Just some weird
I
personal
mean,
value have?
they might feel like it is.
They might
you
just
know?
be anti-Bush.
Well, my conflict here, and I feel like it's a weird line of like, the bakery has a right to not put the gay cake out if they don't want to.
A gake, as it's known.
That just, well, it's June. That just means they won't get that business, right? I think I think it's just that issue. And again, I feel like this is a similar issue. Is just like, okay, we're putting it out there. This printer doesn't do this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sort of feel like I'm a bit in the middle here of like, okay, well, they said they didn't want to do it. It's going to push back the comic. Sorry. I don't know. Fuck that printer.
Yeah, Image should then stand behind their book and then maybe not use that printer when they find a new printer, if they can, if it's doable.
Well, is it Image? Like, is it, is this an Image approved printer? Does Image have anything to do with this? Anything?
That's a good point.
Traditionally, my understanding is that Image is basically hands off up to the point of like distribution.
Yeah.
So Image probably doesn't have anything to do with this.
They're probably receiving the books and allowing you access into the market, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I started the Sabrina Carpenter discourse in the comments.
Chat is talking about, there are some people in the chat who side with the printer on this in the sense that they feel like the printer has the right of refusal, which is legally true. And I can't argue with that. Cale brought up the cake incident, and the idea of like, bakeries having the right of refusal if they don't want to make a cake for a gay couple. And again, legally, can't say anything about it. My perspective is that's horseshit. My perspective is, you're there to provide a service, and choosing not to provide that service based on someone's sexual orientation is disgusting and should be illegal. But I don't make laws. Um, I don't like that the printer did this. I can't make it so that they're forced to do it. What I would do if I were in this situation is I would say, hey, just in case this matters to you at all, this is the name of the printing house.
Yeah.
Same with the bakery. Yeah.
Yeah. Put them on blast.
You have no right to have repercussions for that decision you made as a business.
Sean, to extend that analogy, is there something that you would disagree being written or printed that you would deny?
No.
Like
Because
Marco's a slur, you'd print that?
yeah,
All right, fair enough.
I would. Because I don't believe in censorship. I just don't. And I believe that everybody has the ability and the capacity to choose for themselves what's okay in their life. And so the printer shouldn't be the arbiter. I mean, they're the arbiter for themselves. And
Right.
again, I
Yeah.
have no ability to argue against that. But they're standing in the way. And again, I know they can go to another printing house, but they're basically saying we will be in the way of this book seeing publication. The same way that a credit card company, for example, can be in the way of you being able to interact with certain things on the internet, right? And that should not be the case. That's too much power for a business to have.
Credit card company?
Yeah. So like credit card companies refuse charges if in some cases if there's a sexual nature to whatever it is that you're purchasing, for example.
Sometimes I wish my company would. Some of those 2 a.m. purchases, man, I regret.
All right, come on.
That's the first time I'm hearing about it. Could I go check out my Discover and a little site?
It's oof. Yeah, no, there've been cases of MasterCard getting involved in that way, and it's
No way. Oh,
yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, it's tough, especially like, especially when you get into the weeds of like a massive, corporation like MasterCard versus an independent printer.
Yeah, I think censorship comes from scale. If this was a larger, more all-encompassing, bleeds into the fabric of society, in that there are hundreds of thousands and millions of people associated, I think that leans into the territory of censorship, outside of a personal choice to do something. Because like I even think about the religious aspect of things. Like there's a limitation to censorship for religion because it's a religious belief that I might inherently disagree with, but is permissible.
It's a tricky conversation, to be sure. My opinion ultimately is that when you are standing in the way of something existing, that's censorship. Like the FCC, for example, stands in the way of certain things getting on the airway. That's censorship. I don't see any way around it. That's and we're talking about a business that in this case has the ability to deny service. And if there were no, thankfully there are other printers, but if there were no other ones, then we just wouldn't have this book. Luckily we will, and it will release anyway. I want to know the name of the printer. And I hope that gets released, because you don't the same way you have the right to deny service, you have the right to be criticized, you have the right to be
Yeah.
put on blast. So let's get that name out there. That's what I want to see.
Uncanny Suit. Feel free to put that message back. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I saw a glimpse of it and I wanted to address if you're feeling so brave. So your call.
Ooh,
Marco said, "You won't."
damn! Now I want to know what he said.
Well, I don't know. Well, if it gets posted again, I did want to address it.
Okay. Munster Design says it's the. Oh, I got to respond to your email, dude. Says it stifles creativity in the long run, but it's something we have to navigate if you choose to commercially involve other corporations. It really sucks. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's tricky. And I don't know. What even is that comic?
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the actual content of what this comic is. Why is there pink smoke from this gun? That's my question.
That's your question?
Pink
Yeah.
Bullet.
Oh,
Duh.
okay, cool. All right, didn't know.
Idiot.
Didn't know it was that simple.
I got to see about copying this.
Yeah, you
Like
want to make
this-
eye contact with your comic book shop employee.
Those people don't look you in the eye. It doesn't matter.
Not only do they not look you in the eye, I always say like, "Hey, how are you?" And they don't even ask it back. They
Yep.
just
That's
say,
weird. I've
That's-
chatted
I'm
people
doing
up to
fine.
that one.
That's crazy, dude. Not in my shop, bro. I go in, they're like, "Yo, how was your? Did you find everything okay? Anything we can do to improve your service? Oh, hey, dude, I like this book. This is good. Have you been reading this run?" I'm like,
Nah,
"Oh
they're-
shit, yeah."
The shop he's going
bro,
to.
but
they're-
you're not going to Walmart. Like,
Yeah. Well, and the location too. Like the people that work at Sean's shop are waiting to see if they got that new callback.
Dude, I was talking to this one dude. He had me on the hook for maybe like 20 minutes, and
Okay,
he
that's too long.
stepped to the side
That's too long.
to abandoning customers. He stepped to the side to have a conversation with me and be like, "Dude, let me send you my post rock and hardcore playlist, and let me walk you through some banger albums that I think you really need to listen to." I'm like, "Thank you, sir."
You were one step away from saying, "Put the fries in the bag."
No, I was engaged. I'm like, this is
Okay.
a genre of music that I have no familiarity with. Please put me on to stuff like Turnstile. Please put me on to like whatever
in
else
the
you
comic
can
book store.
in the comic book
Marco's
store.
too
He was
busy
playing
worrying about,
the playlist,
You want to listen
and
to
I'm like,
H2O, and some guy's just trying to buy Batman behind you.
and you know what? That guy try to wait. He was stomping his little foot.
Well,
So I'm having a
comic book
conversation,
fans
sir.
they don't want to speak up for themselves, you know. So.
Dan says we haven't even commented on the cover being about sex and violence. Yeah, that's that's a whole other conversation, but there is a lot of hypocrisy in it too. Because like I wonder if the same printer would have objected to, I don't know, Wolverine Red Band.
Mm.
You can see literal guts pouring out of people's bodies, and that's fine. But show a hint of bush. Oh, you can't put that out there.
Careful, my pearls.
Give me a fucking break, dude.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Tyler.
All right. So we've reached the end of our news segment, but the show is not over. We are going to tell you the greatest Marvel villains of all time, but not according to us. It's not our opinion. It's the opinion of Reddit, the heart and the center of the internet. I am very excited to do this segment because I think it's going to be interesting. Now, just before we get into that, I do want to say thank you to our remaining patrons who absolutely deserve their shout out and their moment in the sun. So I want to thank the Grand Alchemist, Shop Harder Alchemist, John Barrier B, Doomsday, David Melendez Doria, Steve Swarm Canaris, Panda v Panda, Ted Wong, Blur, Jekyll Jose, Scriptured, The Wardens of the Word, Hecatron, The Hate Machine, Amin, Almighty Perez, Houston, The Century Kid Murphy, Peter, The Living Lightning Electrics, Lucas, Heatwave, Holner, Young Dende, The Woody, The Fey Fighter, Shalom, Paladin, Warburg, Emily, The Mighty, McManus, Austin C., Drew A. Walker, aka Cosmic, November, and MD Johnny. Thank you all so much. And thank you to I want to say thank you to Jose for some really kind words. Thank you to everybody who shared words on my most recent newsletter. I really, really appreciate you guys. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, go ahead.
Sean, you called Reddit the center of the internet earlier. I think you mean the armpit of the internet, but
Butthole of the internet.
as Gavin put it, yeah. But semantics.
I actually only said that because that's what Reddit, I believe Reddit calls itself. Like if you, oh, it's the home page of the internet. I think that is their slogan or whatever.
Yeah, are all.
Yeah, bullshit. All right. So here's how this is going to work. And hopefully it does indeed work. What I want to do is I have the list in front of me, right? And I want to go from 20 to 1 and see how many of these we can get right. And by we, I mean you guys, in order.
In order is rough.
It's going to be rough. And I guarantee you, there are some people on this list you will not even have in the top 20. You will never guess. This shit is crazy.
I'm going to guess, it's Spider-Man heavy.
Batman heavy. You kidding me?
Okay, Reddit's not that dumb.
Come on. Have you met your average Redditor?
That's true.
Right here.
These are the
Milady?
Sean, I missed, which subreddit is this from?
This is from Marvel Comics.
Our Marvel Comics, okay. So it's not comic books. It's Marvel Comics, okay.
You're not accurate on thinking that this would be Spider-Man heavy, but it is heavy of another group of villains. But let's kick it off. Let's start at number 20. Who do you guys think is the 20th greatest Marvel villain according to Reddit?
MODOK.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to say Omega Red.
Oh, that's good.
No.
I almost think it's easier to go from 1 to 20. This feels like those newsletters you do, Cale, when you're doing those games where you have to like guess all the names.
Yeah. Can you what I feel like I need is a base to work from. Can you give us 21?
What?
So give us number 21
as a
so
and then we can sort of so that we can build from 20 to 1.
I actually only have 20.
Oh, okay.
Okay, can you give us 20 and then we can do 19, at least so we know where our baseline is.
I think you guys can get this. So I'll give it to you if you can't, but I'm gonna give you a hint.
Okay.
And I'll feel comfortable giving you hints with all these. This is a very, very recently popular villain.
Oh.
At Marvel.
Is it Null?
Very recent. No.
Recently popular. Okay.
Null or
Venom?
no. Recently popular villain. There's one other villain that's very recently popular.
Never heard of a villain in my life.
Name a woman. Name a woman.
Yeah.
3, 2.
Hallows Eve?
No.
Oh no,
Major villain.
Black.
Major villain that's recent. The Maker?
Blade. No.
Yes, the Maker.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Is number 20?
Yeah.
Okay. Boys, we in for it.
Oh boy.
Dan Trudeau said Dr. Bong. Let's go.
I would say that all the villains on this list are almost all of them are more well known than the Maker.
Okay.
Number 19.
Number 19 is the leader.
No.
Damn.
Juggernaut.
No.
Oh damn, I was just about to say that.
When Marco goes, I'll
Arcade.
give you a hint.
Okay.
No. X-Men villain.
Mr. Sinister.
Ooh.
No.
Damn.
Cassandra Nova.
No.
Okay.
Name a villain. Chode? Oh, okay. They went Starjammers.
They have also been a hero.
Sabretooth.
Magneto?
No.
Thank God.
Quicksilver.
What did you say, Tyler?
I said Sabretooth.
Oh, no. I thought no.
Sabretooth.
They're more often, way more often, a hero than a villain. This was a spat of time.
Rogue.
Professor X?
No.
More
X-Men.
often a hero. X-Men related.
Short. Deadpool.
No. This is one of the greatest heroes and villains in the history of Marvel.
Scarlet Witch.
No.
The fuck?
Emma Frost.
No.
What the fuck?
All right.
Apocalypse?
No.
No.
I don't know, man.
One more hit. Can it even be done?
Marco, we got 19 of these.
X-Men villain.
Oh,
Yeah, I
well.
know. That's where I'm at.
We'll get through it. 'Cause it'll get easier. One more hint. One of the most important and well-known stories in the history of Marvel, and probably the biggest in the history of the X-Men.
Is it Phoenix?
Phoenix.
Yes,
Okay.
Oh.
absolutely.
Do they
Dark
list it as
Phoenix.
Phoenix or Dark
Again.
Phoenix?
Oh.
Dark Phoenix, yeah.
Okay.
Again, number 19.
Yeah, no, I feel
Dude,
like
there's some
there's-
heavy hitters on this list, man.
Okay.
Number 18.
18, Dr. Octopus.
No.
Vulture.
Vulture above Phoenix and the Maker?
Hey, dude.
This villain is there isn't just one. There are many.
Goblin.
There are many. There are many.
They have no personal identity.
Sentinels.
I'm using the word
Sentinels.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There you go.
Who was it? Sorry.
Oh, Sentinel.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Shoot,
Eight.
20 was the master.
The Maker.
The
maker.
maker. The master.
That's
Maker.
the Master who's been denying your purchases online, Cal. Master
Oh,
Card. Yeah.
I went to Doctor Who. That's a
Oh, yeah. The British came out.
Number 17.
Okay, so we have the Maker, we have Phoenix, and we have Sentinels. Okay. 17, Sabretooth. Sabretooth.
No.
Damn it.
This is a go ahead, Cale. Go ahead.
the list is most powerful.
It's favorite, top.
Favorite.
Most villainous. Doctor Doom.
At 17?
I don't know.
Listen, yeah,
This is a Fantastic Four villain.
the wizard.
Bing Fan Boom.
Molecule Man.
No.
Mole Man.
No. There is an extremely popular Marvel
Galactus.
Comics event, based around this character.
Annihilator. Annihilus.
There you
There
go.
you go. Annihilator. That could be a cool name too.
What's that guy's fucking name?
All right, now number 16.
Man, Sabretooth's going to be a top 10. Number 16.
Ooh, I like Gavin's suggested Super Scroll.
Oh, that's good.
Annihilus being up there is surprising to me.
Yeah, Red Skull.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm going to go with the, I'm going to say the
Red
leader.
Hulk.
The leader?
The leader, yeah.
No. And you know what I just thought of? I'm going to keep track of how many times you guys get one right, and we'll have a winner at the end. So far, Cale got Annihilus, and Tyler got the rest, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Ultron.
No, sir.
Oh,
This is an X-Men villain.
Omega Red.
Apocalypse.
Nope.
Toad.
No.
Mystique.
No. This is a villain that has go away heat with some of us.
Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister. Oh,
Tyler said it first.
who pushed the button?
Number, what are we at? 15?
Number 5. No. The Glizzy Gobbler. Is that the next one?
No.
Null.
He's way higher.
I think Null's going to be high on this list. If
Yeah.
the Maker was
If at
that
all.
high up, no, I think Null's on this list. I'm going to go with Dormammu.
No.
Can you tell us if we're warm too?
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that. You are
I like that.
you are ice cold.
Yep. So I'm going to check my pulse.
I can do that. You are not it.
Let's get a hint.
Okay. It's an X-Men villain again.
Oh, it is X-Men heavy, this list.
Arcade.
What is with you in Arcade?
Hey man, I'm calling out who I know.
Hey, what
I
else
haven't
do we
seen-
have to work with? I don't know.
haven't seen-
Toad.
I haven't seen a guy like Arcade that much since that one guy at the arcade when I was a kid almost touched me. Okay.
Apocalypse.
No.
Thanks for changing the subject, Cal. Sabretooth.
Gladiator.
The Daredevil
This
villain?
character has had 2 different people play them in live action.
Mystique.
Yes. Nice, Marco.
Okay.
Nice.
Fuck.
There
Way
you
to go.
Justin saying Shuma Gorath, you're safe. He's not going to be on this list. I'm sorry.
I wish. All right, next up. This villain is a Captain America.
Baron Zemo.
Nailed it.
Wow.
Yes.
Whoa.
Okay. Look at Marvel
That's
Head Marco
crazy,
over here.
Marco.
I
What
was
the
gonna say
fuck?
that anyway.
That motherfucker has it open.
No, dude. The chat's throwing out some good names, so I was like, oh,
All right,
maybe.
I won't start with a hint this time. Next.
I need the hint.
Red Skull.
Cold.
Obadiah Stane.
Cold.
Doc Ock.
Cold.
Kang the Conqueror.
Cold. This villain is a street level villain.
Bullseye.
Kingpin.
Marco got it. Bullseye.
Fucking hell.
Yes. Let's go.
Yo, Marco is cooking
I'm not going to
right
let this
now.
happen. I'm going to end the stream before we announce Marco as winner.
Well, you're in the lead right now. You have 4.
I guess.
Marco has 3 and Cale has 1. So
Just got to do a good spread. That's all it
Ca-
is. It's just
Cale
math.
normally wins these games. So if Cale doesn't win, I'll be surprised.
Get ready. Because I am lost.
Well, we're getting into the nitty gritty of like the top villains of all time now. So start thinking
Well,
on that level.
Number 1, Jim Shooter. It's a joke for the girlies
Magneto.
out there. Yeah.
No.
Warm, cold.
Ice cold.
This is
What
where I'm
number
going
we on?
to...
This would be 15, 16, 15, 14, 13.
Enchantress.
Ice cold.
Who's saying kangaroo in the chat? Come on, guys. Another Dr. Bong? Come on.
Who the fuck is Dr. Bob?
He's a Howard the Duck character.
Oh. You guys are crazy.
I need a hint. I don't know. I got nothing.
This villain is a cosmic villain.
The
Oh, I'll leave it
Beyonder.
No to Galactus. Would you say, Tyler?
The Beyonder.
No, and I would say those are both cold.
Oh.
Thanos?
Cold.
No, Thanos. Thanos got to be high up.
Not cold. You're not cold. No. I would
Mephisto?
say, no.
Is it Warlock?
Not a villain.
Adam Warlock. Magus. That's who I was thinking of, actually. Magus.
No. We're in the category of like the biggest and boldest villains. This villain,
Loki?
no. This villain recently was in a movie.
A movie.
Dormammu?
Gore the
Beyonder.
God Butcher.
All wrong
What the
and
fuck?
all cold.
Recently in a movie.
Recently
Eaton.
in a movie.
Recent-
Cosmic, recently in a movie, has a
Marvel.
relationship to a Fantastic Four member. Not with, but to.
Namor.
No.
Oh shit! Wait.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cosmic.
Yeah.
Hey,
Namor
dummy.
really
Yes.
surfing the seas of outer space there. He said, if the Wakandans can do it, me too.
Yo, he threw that
Sea of
shit
the
out so
Stars.
confident. Namor.
Is it Silver Surfer? No, that's not really a villain.
Has a relationship to who?
A Fantastic Four member.
Oh, Kang the Conqueror.
Yes. Nice.
Who the hell?
He's Nathaniel
Uh,
Richards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So next up,
All right.
Green Goblin.
All right. We have to guess first.
Green Goblin, no, and I would say you're ice cold.
Ice Cold. Okay, so bigger villain than street level. Is it X-Men related?
No.
Okay. This is where I'm going to throw Galactus out there.
Mm-mm. And I would say you're cold.
Not Ice Cold, though.
And when Cale goes, I'll give him a hint.
Cale, you look like you're in pain.
I am, dude. This sucks. I feel like I am like nowhere.
I knew this would be fun.
Name a villain.
Ooh.
Just throw one out there.
Michael B. Jordan.
Human Torch?
He's not in
No.
Marvel.
Killmonger.
Yes, he is. Killmonger.
No. I would
Okay,
say you're
thank
ice
you.
cold. So this villain is they're a Captain America villain.
Red Skull.
Yep. Marco
What
got
number
it.
is this?
11.
We're now in 10. We're in the top 10 now.
Yeah, we're about to we're going into the top 10 now. Yeah.
Okay.
That was
And-
11.
Yes, and just to give you the scores, Tyler 5, Marco 4, Cale 1.
4 only? Damn.
Some people in the chat are pretty on point because Shub Patel had that Red Skull out there ASAP.
They're on a
really good
delay,
guess.
so I can't trust them.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. All right, next up, number 10.
Kingpin.
No,
That's a good one.
Mephisto.
no.
W. Gordon said Joker.
Yes, it's Joker.
The Jonkler.
Number 10. And
Big villains, big time.
Ultron.
No, and I would say you're ice cold.
Okay. All right.
This villain is big.
Galactus.
Got it.
Okay. All right, so we're not in
Got it,
Paste
got it,
Pot
got it.
Pete territory. Good to know.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Doc Ock.
No,
Kingpin.
no.
Just gonna keep throwing that out there, huh?
It's going to hit eventually.
Venom.
No. And I would say all of those were ice cold. The hint is that this is an Avengers villain.
Loki.
Thanos.
No.
Okay. Avengers, villain, not.
Ultron.
Yes, Cale got it.
Damn, that was the next one. Ah.
I thought we were going in order here. I guess that's fine.
They're not
I don't
in
know.
order. Fuck you.
Tails trying to
I
catch
was
up.
letting you guys talk so that I could get the hint, but I guess, yeah, it was a little free for all.
Oh man, okay. Number 8.
Kingpin.
No.
Damn it.
Magneto.
Villains.
Apocalypse.
No.
Damn.
When Cale goes, I'll give a hint.
Oh,
The title
Doc
card?
Ock.
Nailed it.
Oh, damn it. The
It's
one
Doc Ock?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one time.
You know what I want to do? I want to change the rules. You guys okay with that? I want to make it so that if you guess right without a hint, you get 2 points.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay.
That's the only time it's been done. So
That's the only way I'm going to win.
Next up,
Sabretooth.
What number is
number
this?
7. No.
Seven.
Number 7.
Venom.
No.
Who's saying Big Wheel? C.W. Gordon, what are you doing? Stiltman, Big Wheel.
Why would Armin Zola? Why would he be on this list?
Kingpin.
No. Oh my god.
All right, it's hint time.
All right. This is an X-Men villain.
Sabretooth.
Apocalypse.
Cale got it.
Fuck.
Damn.
Cale's got 4. Marco and Cale are tied. Tyler in the lead with 6 as we go into the number 6 villain.
Oh, that's
Green Goblin.
Magneto.
No and ice cold.
Okay. I hear the cranking.
Those wheels are turning. 2 points on the line.
Working so hard I could lightly burn a piece of toast.
Which is breakfast where you're from. Put some beans on it.
Ugh.
6?
Yeah.
This is 6, yeah.
Loki.
Nailed it.
No way.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Okay.
Crazy.
Oh, damn it.
Top
Whoa.
5 time. Number 5.
Number 5 is Loki.
Number 6 was Loki. My man.
We did
Oh,
Loki
good.
already?
He wasted his.
I
No,
just said it.
the round.
No.
I thought you said something else. Okay. It's Sabretooth.
It's definitely not, and you're ice cold.
Damn it. Shocker.
Magneto.
No, and ice cold.
Oh, for Magneto.
Don't fucking do it again, Cale. Stop it.
5.
Top 20 Marvel villains, number 5,
Number 5.
according to Reddit.
Kingpin.
No,
It's Mephisto.
it is not Mephisto. It is a cosmic villain.
Thanos.
Nailed it.
Damn.
Yes.
Okay.
Nailed it, Marco. At 5, this is pretty tight. This is going to be a tight conclusion. Number 4.
Number 4 is Mephisto.
It is not, and you are ice cold.
Fuck.
I don't know if Mephisto's on this list. I don't.
Marco, you said-
I don't
you said-
believe it.
Marco, what was your number? What would you say the last one was?
What did I say?
What was 5?
Thanos. I said Thanos.
Thanos, okay.
I'm gonna say Doctor Doom.
I'm going to say you're wrong,
Ah,
and pretty cold.
Tyler got it.
4.
Kale, you went?
No.
Wait, what did Tyler say?
No, he didn't say anything. He asked for
Uh,
clarification.
Oh, I could say something right now if you want me to.
Somebody's gotta.
I say Kingpin.
You got it.
Yeah. That
Damn.
would have been my guess.
You got it without a hint. So you go up to 8. Number 3.
Goblin.
Nailed it.
No, that was
Yeah.
no. I should have done it quicker.
This is
Yeah.
where,
Ah.
Number 2.
Magneto.
Magneto.
Tyler said it
Oh,
Bullshit.
first.
Said that at the same time.
Number
give me
1.
Doom.
Dr.
Give me
Doom.
Doom.
Damn it.
Marco said it first.
I gave him his full government name.
Damn.
So that's the top 20.
Can
it's
you
not
go
a-
through that again? I don't
Yeah,
remember
who's
any
I
of
got
them.
you.
Who's missing?
So the Maker,
Ugh,
Dark Phoenix, Sentinels, Annihilus, Mr. Sinister, Mystique, Baron Zemo, Bullseye, Kang, Red Skull, Galactus, Ultron, Doc Ock, Apocalypse, Loki, Thanos, Kingpin, Green Goblin, Magneto, and Doctor Doom.
I think the only complaint I have is Annihilus.
Kind of left field.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I get the event being centered around them, but it's not enough.
I see. It's weird that Abomination's not on there.
Or
feel
like
like-
you were saying, Sabretooth.
Sabretooth, yeah.
Sabretooth, yeah. Sabretooth was my thought as far as like who was omitted. For
Huh.
sure. And I think maybe if the Maker wasn't on here, Sabretooth would be in that spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no Mephisto too either. That's
Yeah.
wild.
I think there's a segment of the audience that's way more interested in Mephisto than reality. I'm not sure where that comes from.
Shit, I put the Hood up there too, but that's a me thing.
Yeah. I thought this was fun. I enjoyed watching you guys do
I wonder
that.
if
That was
there's
blast.
other polls on Reddit we can steal from because I'm sure they do them all the time.
I was waiting to see how this would go, and if it went well, we'll do it again, which I think it did. Chat, did you enjoy that? If you enjoyed it, let me know because I've got the Heroes one
Oof.
on the Marvel side, and then I'm going to see what the DC side has to offer.
I
CW
always-
Gordon, you gotta drop Venom. Venom ain't a villain. Sorry,
That's the
dog.
thing.
I always thought
Yeah.
it would be fun to do a thing where I name the civilian name of a character and you guys have to guess who it is.
That is
That's
fun.
good. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I've done that quiz.
Oh, I would make it harder.
Oh, yeah.
I would make it harder. Yeah. Although I would throw a lot of Legion characters in there.
Blue
So I
Violets.
would win.
That's true.
Blue Violets 19. I'm aligned with you. Where was Arcade? Where is Arcade?
Yo,
Biggest
what-
X-Men villain, bro.
What is happening today?
Emma Frost, I'm surprised
Not a
wasn't on.
villain.
Not
a villain.
Yeah, much more of a
But,
hero at this
like-
point.
Not a villain. Get over it.
Even when she
That's-
was a villain, you're just gonna. She was just being a girl boss. I don't even think she was a villain.
Yep.
I think at this point Emma's been a hero
For
longer.
longer, 100%
So-
longer.
Izzy's
Yeah.
saying speed demon. Izzy. We're going. It's a top 20, not top 2000.
Not bottom 20.
Gavin says this just in. Tyler would make it hard. Would
Whoa.
Hey, whoa.
Hard for who?
me?
Usually,
Gavin.
usually for myself.
Don't
The
let Gavin's
aforementioned-
wife hear that.
Hey, yo.
The aforementioned wood.
Oh my
Huh?
God. Yeah, chat. Keep telling us if you like it. This is the live feedback is the best part. If you enjoy this segment, let me know so we can do it again.
I thought it was pretty funny. I was looking up a slide for this. I'm like, all right, cool. I want to get a good shot of all these Marvel villains, and I found this J. Scott Campbell art print that has Stan Lee right in the middle.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, some people would agree with that.
I
I didn't even notice that.
also love how like almost none of these villains are on it.
Yeah, no Mandarin, no MODOK, no Dormammu, no Enchantress, no Viper, no Leader. Yeah, no Mole Man.
Leader. Oh man. Yeah, where was the leader? I love the leader.
Name one Leader story.
You got it.
I think the most is like he has some bits in Immortal Hulk, but like I'm just not Hulk read. I'm not well read with Hulk.
Red Hulk?
He's well read with that.
I am actually. I think I've read every Red Hulk actually.
Chat seems to have enjoyed it. I appreciate the responses, so thank you. We will do this again, and I'll try to do. A lot of people want DC, so we'll probably switch it up and do DC next time, if that's even available on Reddit. Thanks to Reddit. Shout out to Reddit, I guess, for
Say those words.
Ooh, yuck.
being able to farm content from them at least.
Thank you.
Helps us out a little bit. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Really appreciate all of you. We've had over 100 pretty much the entire show, which is fantastic. You guys really support us, and thank you. It's fun to be able to spend at least my what I'm thinking of as my birthday weekend with you guys. I have no other plans, so this was my plan. So thank you. Tyler, do you want to say a few words about your birthday?
I know. I was just laughing at the fact that I've had the Gore Vidal's comment that says Kate Bush is my favorite Bush on the screen for this whole
You've
bit.
had it for a while.
Yeah, whole bit. Yeah, no, thanks, guys. Cool to see this many people here, even for a shitty game that probably does not work via audio. So sorry, podcast listeners, but it is what it is.
We've done worse.
Yeah, we've done worse.
Thank you, Lil Hootie, for the birthday wishes. Thank you, Samuel Summers, for the birthday wishes. Appreciate you guys.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, guys.
Thank you.
Marco.
Tuesday.
Marco.
Thanks.
Mark will get us on the actual dates probably.
Yeah, I was gonna wait.
Say happy birthday, dummy.
Oh, okay, happy.
No, it's too late. It's too late. You're ready to ruin our friendship.
Jeez.
It's fine.
I was just gonna.
It's fine.
I'm like, hey guys.
Fine. Unfriending.
He said, I
unfollowing.
said,
day off.
Marco, he said, thanks. Marco, no, yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Marco's about to blow out our candles.
Yeah,
Not
that's what
our
I'll be there
birthday,
for.
stupid.
Oh man. Tuesday we're going to interview the CEO of Wave Blue World, which is an awesome publisher of indie comics. So come hang out with us for that. 6 p.m. Right, Marco?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Monday we will have Pals previews dropping, which has been doing great for us. So thank you for that. Keep it up. Thursday, Pals Pull, 6 p.m. Eastern. You know the drill. And before you know it, we're right back here on Saturday with another edition of this very show. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us as ever. Enjoy your weekend. Have a